Lyle watches it fly. The local kid with a home run he'll never forget.
That was more than enough for the Halos. They beat the Brewers 3-0. Milwaukee now heads home for a 4-gamer with the Pirates. Game 1 is tonight starting at 6:40. The biggest piece of Packers camp news over the weekend came from off the field, and Zach Tom is no longer Zach Tom. To honor his Nigerian roots, Zach Tom is now Zach Bako Biwele.
You know, I want to have a name, especially like when I started having kids and stuff, I want to have a name that I can pass down where it represents where they came from, you know, where I came from. You know, I just feel like people will see that name and have a good understanding of who I am, where I come from.
Your practice schedule this week, 10:30 open to the public workouts. Tomorrow and Tuesday, family night is Friday. The Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Bill for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 210. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18, Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to do. Let's go out and kick the tail. All right? 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Get our guys after and make the play. Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C-puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh my God, this man's been out all night.
Armin Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Monday edition of the Huddle loading right now. Welcome to the 5 o'clock club. Welcome to the program. Welcome to a work week. Welcome to August. And welcome to the trading deadline. I'm Drew Olson, broadcasting live from headquarters, joined by erstwhile Hunter Baumgart IV, who is in for his final day, filling in for Armin, who is South Beach Sarianing his weekend wedding and coming back tomorrow. Good morning, Hunter.
Good morning. Good morning.
Plenty to talk about, beginning with those evil Dodgers taking Tarik Skubal, ripping him from the Brewers' clutches. Or maybe not.
Yeah, that was
Saturday night, late, we found out that the deal was done. The Tigers were unloading Skubal to the Dodgers, the evil empire. And lo and behold, the return wasn't that great. Here we were wondering which of the Brewers' top prospects they were going to peel off to make this acquisition, and the Dodgers didn't really give up much of their cupboard.
No, I think you would have done it if you would have had those that, where those prospects were ranked in the Dodgers system. I think you would have done it. However, it seems like from the reports, the Brewers would have had to give up more significant capital. It seems.
Yeah. So we don't know.
We don't know. That's the thing.
That's the thing. We don't know what the Brewers offered, or if the Brewers even offered. Did the Tigers even take a call from Matt Arnold?
Right.
You'd hope.
It seemed like it. It seemed like it was at least somewhat realistic, considered how the way Pat Murphy talked about it. And even Christian Yelich talked a little bit about it. Not specifically school.
You got 2 months left to cover innings, man. The dog days are here, and you need guys now. I think the Brewers need help now. And then the Rays went and got Freddie Peralta for
a reunion in Milwaukee
for less than a striking return as well. So underwhelmed by the returns so far, for a seller's market. But Brewers aren't done yet. We don't know what's going to happen. Maybe there's a Casey Mize in their future, which would be a great pickup. Boom, go to town with Casey Mize.
Him or Robbie Ray, and I think this is a successful trade deadline.
Sure. And and maybe there's a couple of relievers out there that people. Luke Weaver's at the top of the list. So if you get him, I guess a reliever would be better than nothing. But not landing a starter in this market, and given, what the Brewers are facing, would be somewhat surprising.
It would. There have been so many reports saying that they are active and interested in the starting pitching market. And with it, what seems like to be more than a few available, it would be surprising if they come out of it without one, considering how much Pat Murphy and the Brewers have talked about their young starting pitching and how much they're going to have to, make sure that these guys are healthy come October. And that means they need innings to be eaten, like you mentioned. So you want to bring in a guy who has experience, and all of these guys would. Even Foster Griffin is another guy from Washington. I don't know if they're going to trade him or not, but I think Robbie Ray of San Francisco is realistic. I think Casey Mize of Detroit is as well. The interesting about Detroit is now they've won a couple games. Now they're just a couple games out of a playoff spot. And do they consider keeping Casey Mize? They trade Skubal because you almost feel like you had to, and they would have been malpractice for them not to. But now Mize obviously isn't going to net you the return that Skubal did. So you look at that and say, well, maybe we keep him and see what we can do, because the AL is so weak this year. Maybe we are hot and do what we did a couple of years ago and get into the postseason, or do what the Guardians did to them last year and get into the postseason after being, double-digit games back. So I don't, Casey Mize, that'll be a decision the Tigers have to make. I would think that he will get dealt. Otherwise, Robbie Ray is kind of the guy now that I have my eye on when it comes to starters that are still available.
So the reigning back-to-back World Series champs get the reigning back-to-back Cy Young winner from the American League.
Shocker.
And they didn't give up their top three prospects, any of their top three prospects.
No. How does that, how did we get here?
Well, again, like the Dodgers are the evil empire, but like the idea that MLB has to change the rules because the Dodgers are successful. Yeah, they're going for their third straight World Series title, which is shocking because we went 25 years without a team repeating in Major League Baseball.
True.
And the Dodgers, they're going for 3 in a row and 4 in 7 years. Basically a dynasty, right?
I would think so.
And it's funny how in other sports, the Patriots, dynasty, great. When we saw Cleveland play Golden State in the finals, 4 or 5 years in a row, was awesome. Yeah. Dynasties. In baseball, you got to tear it down. It's dynasties. And yet the conundrum is that since 2000, baseball has had more teams win the ultimate prize, the World Series, than in any other sport. The diversity of champions is higher in baseball than in all the capped sports, which again, there's a disconnect there. And that's why that's what the union's going to point to. And the union's going to say, why are you penalizing the Dodgers for doing a good job? They have the best farm system and all the best TV deal, a great stadium, a great tradition, a good manager, a good operation. The fact that they can go buy anybody, the Yankees and Mets can go buy anybody they want, but they're not producing the pipeline of talent, internally that the Dodgers are.
Right.
So, and now suddenly the Red Sox were an interesting case because they started the season just on full stake.
Crazy the turnaround they've done.
And now what are they, 23-3?
Yeah, and they're 9 games over 500 right now.
Yeah, it's insane. So baseball's in a weird place. It's going to get weirder in December, but we have right now T-minus under 12 hours of weirdness.
Yeah,
so the Brewers are likely going to make a move.
I would think so. I would be surprised if they don't get a pitcher of some sort. Maybe it is a bat, considering they got shut out again yesterday. 3 shutouts since the All-Star break, which is not great. But the market for a bat just doesn't seem to be as robust and as realistic as maybe a starting pitcher or a bullpen arm. And that's what the reports have said, is that the Brewers are more active when it comes to the pitching side of things, which makes sense. But the whole state of baseball, yes, they have had a lot of different champions and that parity has been there. But really, it seems to me that over the last 5 years or so, it is trending in a not so great. I don't think that is going to continue. I think this is going to be, it seems like, look at how good the Yankees are every single year. Yeah, they may not get to the World Series but they are bringing in they are being competitive. Look, they gave up 4 prospects for Luis Garcia yesterday. Those are the types of things that those big markets can do. Are they going to win the World Series every year? No. Are there other teams that get hot and win it? Sure. But overall, I do think that we are trending in a direction where the big markets are having more and more of an advantage. And maybe that's because of the influx of money simply in the sport. And now the discrepancy is getting wider and wider. And the argument that people are making that, I saw Dave Roberts, any team could have done what we did. Well, sure. Yeah. But they also could have. Skubal. Yeah, but you're also the next 3 years are going to be quite different for that, even the next 5 years could be quite different for that smaller market team than you, because you can go and spend money on a big free agent like a Skubal and keep him for the next 4 years, while the Brewers would have him for 3 months.
And that's true. But then the counter to that is, all right, there's 6 divisions, and 1/3 of them are led by small market Tampa and Milwaukee.
Sure.
So they're doing a good job. And in the capped sports,
because they use their prospects,
particularly the NBA and the capped sports, everybody's equal. Everybody's got the same, can spend the same money. When's the last time a major free agent signed in Sacramento or Milwaukee?
Totally.
There's a hierarchy, right? It's like that. There are still attractive markets, unattractive markets, franchises that are run well and franchises that aren't run well. In the cap sports in the NFL, everybody's got a chance. Well, Cleveland's still going to Cleveland, and Cincinnati's still going to Cincinnati. And, it's like,
you're still going to have the discrepancy. Like, you're still going to have the Dodgers spending at a certain amount and the Brewers spending at a certain amount. But what you won't have, and I think, and this is where the floor in the cap comes in too, because I think the floor, and you've talked about this before, how important the floor would be. And I think that's where we'd see the most difference is you would see, it's not necessarily the cap, but more so where the Brewers are then able to spend, and basically if you trade away some prospects, you can make up with signing a mid-level free agent. It's not necessarily Skubal. It's not necessarily the highest, the Shohei Ohtani, but that mid-level guy who can then have maybe the same amount of impact that a prospect could have. That right now you're not even in the running really for a mid-level free agent right now. So that's where I think you'd see the biggest difference, and that would allow you to then trade away some of these prospects. And I'm not necessarily arguing as well that the Brewers shouldn't have just done it this year and given up what maybe the Tigers were asking. And again, we don't know exactly. Adam McCalvy put out that comp that when he asked about, he said he asked about a relative comp to the package the Dodgers gave up for 3 months of Skubal. He heard Logan Henderson, Luis Pena, and then either Bishop Letson or Josh Knopf. And that seems to be way more than the Dodgers gave up, which is, I don't know how to necessarily read into that either.
The Dodgers, the Tigers got an outfielder that they're going to plug in and hope that he becomes an all-star. And that he's probably the key to it. And then 2 pitchers. One guy's a prospect at like 27 or 28, but he's a converted position player. 2 pitchers who've had Tommy John surgery, which you can either look at as questionable or, well, they're fixed. And like you're not trading for a guy who might blow out. Maybe they will a second time, but the odds are that they're fixed. So I think because of the way they're ranked, and prospect rankings are subjective, the way that they're ranked makes you think, well, the Brewers could have matched that easily. But again, we don't know what and so it's all speculation. In fact, the talk and text line's open for everybody. 877-794-1973. All the 5 o'clock clubbers who want to say hi can also comment on the YouTube, Facebook, and X streams. But our first texter this morning was Baraboo Bob, who said, I know we always hear the statement, trust the process, but not getting Skubal when we could have, I don't understand. Dodgers traded for him, gave Detroit hardly anything. Well, I mean, I'm seeing it graded as like a B for the Tigers for their return.
I feel like they could have gotten more.
What I've been hearing is that we could have given up one of our top prospects and some others, and we could have had him. Well, again, we don't know that. We don't know what the conversations were, and you're just, okay, but that's what you're hearing. What are we hanging on to all of them for? We made a move with CeCe. Why not Skubal? They really need to do something. Congrats, Dodgers, ahead of the playoffs. Hello, football for us.
So you're just going to punt on the Brewers season when they have the best record in baseball?
Best record in baseball at the deadline for the second straight year. All All right.
Come
Tim on the talking text line. I'm super happy for the Dodgers. They finally got a guy that gives them a chance to compete with the big markets like the Padres and Brewers.
Yeah, I'm really happy for him.
Really happy.
Oh, man. Heart of hearts.
All right.
Just,
Yep. George in Wisconsin Rapids. Morning 5 o'clockers. Let's Monday the hell out of this day. The boys will get us through it. Yes, we will.
Oh, yes.
Like the attitude. Ryan and Muskego. Why do the Dodgers get Skubal? Simple. Owners don't want to see the Brewers win. A small market team winning the World Series would show that the small market can do it. Owners want a cap to line their pockets with more money. Am I wrong?
I did see people saying that
so Detroit's in on it and they took less return because they want to help the greater good. Like,
I doubt it.
Like, come on.
I do doubt that.
That's absurd.
And
it's interesting because I said this weekend that there was a sense like from the last week. Well, for 5 years, we thought like the national media was lobbying to get Giannis out of Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for the last, week and a half, 2 weeks, it seems like a lot of the top guys were saying the Brewers should go get Skubal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the opposite. It's like the Brewers should land the best guy on the market.
That's why I kind of thought it was more realistic this time.
Yeah, but it turned out not to happen. And the Dodgers were going to get him anyway. I mean, if that's your conspiracy theory, like the Tigers ownership, the Ilitch family, wanted to help the greater good and help their cause, and they're going to take less prospects in a deal. Like, first of all, the GM is going to do this, like at the owner's insistence, the GM's job is on the line. And like, okay, it's almost so far-fetched. Like when you really think about that statement, like, come on.
Yeah,
there isn't this cabal. I mean, it is what it is. And we're hurtling towards that. And the season's going on. And I think those two things are kind of independent of each other.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think anybody's making moves now or not making moves because they don't think there's going to be a season next year. They're assuming that there will be in baseball. That's the way you have to operate. So that's the way people are operating. I think you ask any GM, like, I'm not worried about that.
Well, plus if you lose the full season, I mean, it depends, right? If you lose the full season, it doesn't count towards a year of a guy in a contract. Now, if you play 60 games or something like that, like the COVID year, it is going to count towards a year of the contract.
Well, and then, the owners want to line their pockets. Well, I mean, I guess like even the Dodgers would save money if there's a cap, probably.
Yeah.
Ostensibly they would, but and then the big thing is pooling the TV revenue and all that. So, that's a conspiracy, Ryan, that I'm just not going to buy into. Like, that's not like the way things work. I don't think. I'm not buying that the Tigers did that because of a bigger movement among owners to knock down the Dodgers and to make it or to build up the Dodgers so that they can say, well, look, we can't compete anymore. We need a cap. Right. I mean, Bud Selig was saying this stuff in the 90s. When we lost the 94 World Series, that's what they were saying is competitive balance. Mm-hmm. Like every team needs hope and faith at the beginning of the season. And that's why they were trying to get a cap and it didn't work. And I mean, they've been talking about this for a long time. But again, in the uncapped sport, they've had more champions in the last 20 years or 25 years than the other sports. So
I just think we're trending. We while that is true, I do think since 2020 we're trending in a different direction here, and maybe that's just because the Dodgers. Maybe that is one franchise that is doing it right. Finally,
that's right.
As far as using the big money and also doing really well in their minor league system,
the Dodgers have won they're going for 3 in a row and 4 in 7 years. They went 34 years without one.
They did. Yeah, when was the last time the Mets won one? When was the last time,
So is it sports works in cycles? And so, and the Mets, they've spent more money than anybody. The Red Sox had a run but now they're come back to earth. You mentioned the Yankees are basically in it every year, but they don't win it. They haven't won it a lot.
Yeah.
Like since their dynasty of the late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So Kansas City has won a World Series, right? And Houston's won a couple. Houston's not exactly a small market, but just saying, well, Texas too. I mean, again, not a small market, but the diversity at the top, it's possible. It's a fascinating conundrum. And I don't know the answer. But the thing is, I don't know how much a cap's going to help the Brewers. For the same reason that there's a cap and there's still a Sacramento. Hey, you got to be smart and you got to be able to, draft and develop and run it the way the Brewers have been running it. The cap doesn't help the Sacramento Kings win, ever.
Right.
It doesn't.
You absolutely have to still have a good organization.
And then like look at the big markets, like the Angels. Brewers just played them and couldn't sweep them. Like they're in the same market as the Dodgers, and they have a lot of resources too, but they're not the same universe.
Right. So it definitely, you have to give credit to where credit is due there. And the Dodgers are deserving of credit of how they've built not only their farm system, but how they've done it at the major league level. You've talked about the job that Dave Roberts has done. Like they are a well-run organization, and that is part of it. But the other part of that is, again, it's like if okay, what if the Brewers had that money? And how good they are as far as their organizational decisions. Now, the other side to that,
that's the David Stern.
And I've thought about this too. Like, what if they implement salary cap and floor, and that changes the calculus of how the Brewers operate a little bit, and maybe they don't thrive as much in that system. But does it open up more possibilities for them to go and win a World Series? Maybe, maybe not. Because you have to get through the Dodgers right now. And even if you institute a salary cap, it's not totally going to bring the Dodgers crashing down to earth. They're still going to be able to spend more than the Brewers. So there's a lot of give and take here. And I don't know exactly if a cap and floor like solves every issue that is going on here. But all I do know is that it's disheartening for fans if you're not a fan of the Dodgers. And then it just puts salt in the wound when you see, Dave Roberts come on and say, oh, any team can do what we're doing. And come on.
Not really.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, they could give up prospects, and you could argue that the Brewers should have, but we don't know how those negotiations went. But those prospects are prized possessions when you are in an organization like the Brewers or the Rays compared to the Dodgers. It's just the truth.
That's true. It's true. Well, Tarik Skubal's Dodgers debut comes Tuesday night against the Cubs.
And we will be cheering for Skubal on that night.
He can go ahead and pitch a shutout.
Mm-hmm.
Be interesting. All right, Tommy and Dallas. Dodgers are messing with baseball juju, this load management of their starting pitchers for the last 2 years. They're playing games with these injuries. Well, they're going to turn into real injuries at the worst possible time. I don't wish that upon them. I guess I do wish that upon them. Have a great week. All right, we'll take your thoughts. Again, the Brewers, we got T-minus 11 and a half hours for Matt Arnold to cook. It's going to be deflating if they don't make a move.
For sure. I don't know how you can go I don't know how 5 o'clock can pass, and the only trade you do is Blake Perkins and Craig Yoho for Cody Hoyer and Bo Naylor, and they are at AAA. I think there's a move, and maybe a couple to come today.
We shall see. Stick around. We're going to have some fun today. Billy will be dropping in on his way up to practice. They were in Shells yesterday. Pads go on today. Ooh. Christmas morning for Billy and Wayne Larrabee. The Training Camp Live airs from 11 to 1 on these here airwaves and interwebs, some of them. We are going to, again, we're talking Brewers. We have game balls and kicks to the balls coming up after 6 o'clock. And then the usual stuff. We may or may not see Scott Dolphin today. I'm not sure if he's back from Iceland yet. We'll find out together.
Reports are that I think he is.
At 6:30. Well, yeah, since neither of us drink coffee.
True.
That's the way you know, because Dolph's the guy who starts the coffee pot most days. All right, we're going to have some fun today. We're glad you're hanging out with us, 5 o'clock clubbers. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Monday edition of the Huddle continues from headquarters. Drew Olson, Hunter Baumgart. Armin will be back tomorrow. Billy will be popping in on his way to Green Bay for the first padded practice of Packers camp. We'll talk about that as we move forward. Obviously, today is the day, August 3rd. We got here. It's the trade deadline, 5 o'clock tonight. Brewers at home tonight playing Pittsburgh.
Yes.
And they've just wrapped a road trip, the West Coast trip. I love West Coast games on the weekends, like Friday and Saturday nights.
Yeah.
Nice. Not so much during the week. They'll be playing the Dodgers and Padres on their next trip, but this little homestand in between for this week. But they go 3-3 on a trip to San Francisco and Anaheim, and it's great that the bar has been set for the Brewers at 3-3. Feels like a disappointment.
Yeah, I think so. It's nice to have, especially against those two teams.
I've always said, like, you know, when you're a good team, you're at your worst. You're 500. Well, 3-3 is like their worst.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, it would have been nice to get yesterday's game with Miz on the mound. He gave up a homer, didn't pitch badly by any stretch, just gave up a homer.
Totally.
On a cutter.
7 innings of 2-run ball and 10 Ks. I think you'd take it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, again, like, he's been more spectacular, but that's pretty spectacular. Like, that is nothing to take for granted.
You should win those games.
On your bad outings to go, 7 innings and 10 Ks. It's like, come on. So,
yeah,
home run on a cutter. Now people are wondering, why are you even throwing that cutter? Well, you got to throw something besides fastball because otherwise they'll tee up on the fastball.
Mm-hmm.
So, Miz will have better days. But now it's all about what do the Brewers do today? What can they pull out of their hat? They can't get Kevin Gausman or Freddie Peralta. There are other arms out there. Are they going to be arms that excite people? Will people get excited if it's Doug Walker? Will that be enough? Probably not.
Oh, Michael. Yeah. From Kansas City.
Yeah.
Maybe
Michael
for
Walker,
some reason his name has not come up as much as some of these other guys, whether it be Foster Griffin or Casey Mize or Robbie Ray or look, I think you have if you get one of those guys, I think you have a really solid pitcher that's coming into your rotation. I don't, obviously it's not going to be the excitement level of Tarik Skubal, but if you bring in a Casey Mize or Robbie Ray to this rotation, I think that really solidifies another spot.
Here's the thing that, Andy in West Bend hit us up too. He said, Brewers fans don't get it. All your prospects can't be on the MLB team. You need to move some. You still have plenty on the farm. You must add offense and pitching today, or why even play in October? Well, what was the Brewers deadline deal last year? Danny Jansen.
And
they made it to the NLCS. And again, they lost to the Dodgers, but
didn't they make one more move? I don't know. All the years blur
together. They do blur together.
Years before that.
Yeah. But here's the stark reality. Had the Brewers landed Tarik Skubal and we were celebrating and people were buying jerseys and we were trying to figure out, if he's going to pitch Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. That would have been fun.
They'd be having
can we just take a moment?
He'd have the media availability tonight.
Oh, that would have been amazing.
If the Brewers had landed Tarik Skubal, I still think the Dodgers would be a prohibitive favorite to beat them in the playoffs.
Oh,
anyway.
for sure. That's totally.
That's, so.
Yeah. But it would given you.
What do you wish for? It would give you an adrenaline, it's a dopamine hit on August 1st if you get them. But at the same time, the stark reality is you're still an underdog.
Your odds would have been better to beat the Dodgers than they are right now with Tarik Skubal on the LA Dodgers. I think that you can say though. Your odds of beating the Dodgers would have been better.
So it would go from 75% that the Dodgers win to 60.
Yeah, but that's still 50.
All right, you're shaving that off.
Difference.
Look for every little edge you can in baseball.
Oh yeah, I think at this point, yes. Yeah. I think so.
And
I think
again,
and
the sexy picks aren't always the most effective.
Sure.
Yeah, we've seen guys get traded at the deadline and not perform well. Jonathan Scope.
Oh yeah.
The highway is littered with guys that you pick and expect to do well, and then they just don't for whatever reason.
Here's a question for you: is it better that he went to the Dodgers compared to the Cubs?
Ooh,
to me, I think it is. I think it would have been so if you would have seen the team, 90 miles south go and get Tarik Skubal and you didn't, and knowing that the Cubs do not have the type of farm system the Brewers have, the Dodgers are close. When it comes to farm system, rankings wise, the Brewers and Dodgers are about the same.
Yeah,
Cubs are not. So I think that would have been worse if he would have went to the Cubs.
True.
Competitively as well. Obviously, you're trying to win the division first.
Yeah, obviously that would have been nice of the Yankees to win a series against the Cubs this weekend, right?
Yeah, we appreciate their efforts. Thank you, Yankees.
Yeah. I actually found yourself cheering for the Yankees this weekend.
I know. 6.5 game lead for the
6.5 game lead in the division for the Brewers, looking pretty solid again. And that trip to LA and San Diego is going to be interesting. Now, when the Brewers go to LA, do you hope they face Skubal? I do. Why not? Get a preview.
See him.
Yeah.
See him first. You faced him back in April.
Mm-hmm.
Almost beat him. Blake Perkins had a big hit. I know he's not, unfortunately, on the team anymore, but he had a big hit against the Tigers in that game. So you faced him in April and faced him again here in August.
Here's what I'm in the crystal ball. I have no idea what's going to happen in the next 11 and a half hours. Nobody does. Are the Brewers close to popping a trade? Will it be something like, whoa, holy cow? Will it be like run to the ticket window or go to the team store and get the shirtsies? I have a feeling what if they do stuff that's like people are like, who? Huh? It's going to be, what if they make their moves and it's guys, what? And then they're underwhelmed and stuff. So did the Skubal thing, did missing out on him diminish the joy of any acquisition that they'll make?
I think for some people, yes. I think it's
going to feel like a consolation prize.
I think so, but I think you have to kind of frame it. You have to make sure not necessarily to frame it that way, because I think you can still get a really solid pitcher at this deadline. If you get a Mize or a Griffin or a Ray, especially Ray and Mize, I think if you get one of those two, I'm happy. I say, okay, they went out and they solidified their rotation with a guy who's having a good year and can really help you down the stretch into the postseason. So I'm good with that. I'm good with that at the deadline.
Here's another layer of
a
it.
Reliever, though.
Like who I don't remember if it was Baraboo Bob or who was it that thought the conspiracy theory about Major League Baseball is doing this on
Ryan
purpose,
and
right?
Muskego, yeah.
Ryan and Muskego. One of the things is if you want to, first of all, like you said, you don't know that the Tigers might. Okay, we got some guys and we're going to try to win this crappy division in a crappy league and roll the dice the rest of the year and not trade Casey Mize or anybody else. Okay. But if they do try to trade Casey Mize, didn't they, if you think that they got a weak return, and I think some of us are downgrading the return. Again, I'm seeing it like the experts are grading him like as a B, kind of like prospects. Like,
could they have gotten more?
Potentially.
I feel like they probably could have.
Like, okay, so you can say the return was maybe lighter than expected, but it's not as horrible as we are painting it as, I think. But if that's the return for Skubal, doesn't that lower the bar and the cover charge for Casey Mize?
Yes.
I think wait a minute. I'm not giving you more for Mize than you got for Skubal, even 100%. Though Mize is controllable or,
But every deal is different too.
That's
on
the thing.
Teams
I know that
are negotiating.
They don't, it shouldn't, one deal shouldn't affect the next.
It's not apples to apples.
No, it's not like you're signing a free agent and then you sign the top of the market guy and then the next guy slots like below him. It's not like that.
Right.
It doesn't work that way. But in my mind, it kind of does. Like if they're asking for Jesus Mate for Casey Mize, like, no.
Right.
You didn't get that for Skubal.
Right.
And
there is that.
And the thing is with Skubal is for teams like the Brewers, he's a rental. For the Dodgers, he's an investment.
Right. Yes.
Because they're going to be able, they'll sign him. I mean, that's where he was probably going to end up anyway. So that's striking. So Andy in West Bend, he's right. The Brewers fans, they got to do something today, or why play in October? Well, as constructed again, the Brewers have the best record in baseball, and you can't predict what's going to happen. The reason that baseball's had more diversity at the top in an uncapped sport is because baseball is the most volatile sport. The best teams don't always win, regardless of home field, regardless of anything. It's baseball. #baseball on any given day, right? A hot pitcher or just a cold pitcher, or the Dodgers probably would have won a couple years ago, but Betts and Freeman went like 0 for the playoffs, 0 for a series, and they lost. Right. And they're like, well, okay. That's baseball. I think baseball is more randomized.
It is.
Even in a 5-game series or whatever, it's still randomized, right? No matter what the length of the series.
The other sentiment that I've heard from fans is, this is going to make it even sweeter when the Brewers beat the Dodgers in the playoffs, because they added another piece. And when the Brewers, and I'm like, Yeah, I mean, it's an uphill climb, but I get
what
what
if
you're
they
saying.
don't face them? I mean, what if somebody else knocks them
There's
off?
also that
That's
possibility.
what if the
I mean, we're
Braves
just
or the Phillies knock
expecting.
off the that's the thing. That's the randomness. But in theory, yes. Yeah, and you want to line it up. But I think the Dodgers were probably 75% to win the title before, and now did that go down? No.
The more and more that the Dodgers add, whether it be through free agency or trades here, the more that I feel like it takes the randomness out of it. Yes, the Dodgers could lose in the first round, but man, I mean, you look at the rotation they have in the lineup. It's going to be tough for me to think that when they put their best guys out there, you're like, oh, they got swept by the Red Sox at home this weekend. Okay, but they're not throwing out their 1, 2, 3. And obviously Skubal wasn't a part of that. So I just think it's taking a little more of the random out of it when you look at how good the Dodgers are right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we got some comments coming in here on YouTube. Let's get to a couple of these. Just a bunch. Thanks everybody for chiming in here. The 5 o'clock club is alive and well.
It is, baby.
Wow. Let's see. Mike says the Brewers will not make a trade. Okay, so he thinks nothing.
Okay.
Tim says, can't believe anyone felt the Brewers were all in. I've been a fan since 1970. I know better. Okay. I don't know if we thought necessarily all in. I thought that this was
What's
kind of
all in, trading Mate or trading,
Well, right. And I think to me, it was more so, okay, you kind of felt like you were building up to this year a little bit. And it felt like, okay, you have the best record in baseball again. Maybe this is a year where you sacrifice some prospects, and that could still happen by 5 o'clock today. So there's still, I think we have to judge this trade deadline once 5 o'clock hits, and it's hard to do so before that. Let's see. Steven says, if there's a lockout and the owners want a salary cap, does the arbitration system survive?
You can make a case that, well, it might change and they might get to it earlier even, or arbitration in the big picture has hurt the owners more than free agency. Right.
Yeah.
And so, and the owners are going to have to give something back to get a cap. It's going to be significant. Is free agency like after 5 years now? Is it, after 4 years, you can be a free agent? Like what are they going to have to give back? Fascinating negotiations there of what it's going to take.
For sure.
But again, you kind of keep that out of your mind when it comes to the plate spinning now. And Matt Arnold's talking to every team. He's got lines in the water. And you're right. I'm sure they're talking about Robbie, right? I'm sure they're talking about everybody.
I'm sure they're talking about Skubal.
I'm sure they were. But again, we don't know what was offered, or what if it never got to that? And then what if the Tigers wanted to trade Skubal to Detroit just to do him a solid and send him where he wanted to go and get the best deal from the Dodgers? I mean, I don't think that's the case, but I don't think they owe that to him. But again, we did what we don't know. And that's a frustrating place to be. I'm sure Matt Arnold's going to address you guys tonight at the ballpark.
I would think so after the
Come 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right.
We should have that audio on the baseball pregame show from 5:30 until 6:30 this evening on Fox Sports 920 and these social channels.
There you go. 877-794-1973. Please weigh in with your thoughts. We'll see Billy on his way up to Green Bay. First full padded practice for the Packers today. We'll talk about the storylines there. Got a name change. Packers got a new starting right tackle, so to speak.
Who would have thunk?
Yeah, I wouldn't have. It's kind of wild. We'll talk about that and more as we move forward. You are in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Huddled up on a Monday, Drew and Hunter hanging out with you. Armin will be back tomorrow with stories to tell from his wedding weekend in Washington, D.C., cousin's wedding. Billy will be with us on his way to Green Bay. Don't forget, training camp live. First padded practice today for the Packers. That airs from 11 to 1. NicoletLaw.com talking text line 877-794-1973. We expect more texts than calls, but lo and behold, Brewer Mike is on line 1 of the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. What's up, Mike?
Hey, how are my two favorite guys?
We're good.
How was your weekend, guys?
Oh,
Right,
low key,
awesome.
relaxing.
Yeah, I hear you. Mine was a little less low key than last week with my 7,000 game, but anyway.
Yeah, always going to be a letdown.
Yes, I know. Now I go for 10,000.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I was a little disappointed, boys, because I thought this would be like a CC move again. I don't know if they're going to make a trade. Hang on, this guy ain't moving.
Oh, boy. Get out of the way. Mike's trying to drive.
Yeah, really. I would love to see, any of the other pitchers out there, but I'm not giving a farm away, guys. It'd be stupid if we gave the farm away because right now, like you guys said before, Skubal, I mean, who knows? One of these guys might end up being good, but they could all be, flops. Like they could all be Castaneras for all we know.
Was Skubal do you think Skubal was a different case though? Like you would have felt okay giving up some of the farm because of the talent level and the type of CC type of deal that you would have gotten?
Yes and no. I mean, I wouldn't have given up Day, but I probably would have gave up Pena and maybe the catcher because we just got Naylor, and I'm scratching my head on that, Hunter. I was going to ask you that. Why would they send him down to Nashville?
Yeah, I think. Well, you don't really want to
carry three catchers.
Yeah, you're not probably going to carry 3 catchers. I think Gary's still your backup. I think Naylor is almost more of a future move. And look, you weren't going to have Blake Perkins necessarily on your roster because Brandon Lockridge was coming back. And I think Perkins obviously has not had a good year.
Sure.
So you were going to have him on your roster. They probably threw in, Yoho was probably not a throw in, but obviously something else that Cleveland wanted. And then Matt Arnold was saying that he's liked what Naylor has done, especially on the defensive side throughout his career, and has some pop to him at times. So I think this is more of a depth move, not necessarily for now, and the Athletic reporting that they're not going to trade Gary Sanchez. So it sounds like Gary's still going to be your backup catcher, and then Naylor's just there for depth, really.
I don't agree with that. I would either trade him or cut him because Naylor's probably a lot better right now than Sanchez.
I disagree. Ask the people in Cleveland about that.
Yeah, I mean, Naylor spent most of the year at AAA. Sanchez knows your pitching staff at this point.
Yeah, Sanchez is a good catch. Sanchez is the perfect backup to me.
He kind of is.
Thanks,
I don't know if you're going to do any better. Yeah, appreciate it, Mike.
Because he's a veteran. His catch and throw is pretty good. He's challenging. We could talk about. He's a little excessive on the challenges, but
he's taking advantage of being a veteran in the challenge.
Other than that, though, and he's a guy he could get one at bat in a series and change a series.
Yeah.
I don't have any problem with him being my backup catcher. I think he's the perfect backup catcher.
I think last year you kind of saw where they tried to upgrade there with Danny Jansen, and honestly, I think Eric Haas might have been the better option. And so you'd have to bring in a guy. Not that we won't see Naylor. Obviously, if Sanchez goes down, he might be the next guy. Although Jefferson Caro could be the next guy too. But I think this just builds your depth really. And Naylor is a guy who's been there, done that. I mean, he's postseason experience. So
yeah, I mean, you're right. Naylor's about the future, and I don't know. Caro's been hurt a lot. Maybe he's destined not to catch anymore or something, or find a new position for him. Don't know.
Who knows? I think the goal for the organization, it seems, is to just have him have a consistent season of catching, hitting, everything at the minor league level, and then you kind of now that we've got a full season after his injury, what do we do?
There's a couple guys behind him that are moving up the charts too.
Marco Dinge is another guy who got back to catching last night for some of his game.
Yeah. So stay tuned. Again, it will be deflating if the Brewers don't make a move. Even a nominal move, right?
Yeah, just make I guess you could argue the nominal move was was over the weekend.
Yeah.
That was like a minor league trade almost.
All right, so going and grabbing Luke Weaver would be a move.
For sure. I think that would
that would
be quite significant.
Mason Miller's probably not going to move. I don't know that Mize will. So again, we will see what Matt Arnold has up his sleeve.
He's probably got something.
I'd be shocked if he didn't, but then again, got to be shocked the other way.
Yeah.
Right. So Skubal of the Dodgers, we will continue to discuss as we move forward on the program. Game balls and kicks to the balls, getting ready to fire up. Can't kick Matt Arnold yet because not until 5 o'clock. We'll discuss all of that. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. The Brewers were thinking sweep in their series finale Sunday in Anaheim, but Milwaukee just didn't get anything going against LA starter Walbert Urena.
Ball and 2 strikes on Churio. Back-to-back strikeouts start the afternoon as Tyler Heineman finishes with the throw to first, and there are 2 gone to begin the day.
Yeah, that's kind of how it went. The Brewers lose to the Angels 3-0. Milwaukee goes 3-3 on their West Coast swing. Now they're back home for the week starting tonight against Pittsburgh. Entering play tonight, the Brewers lead over the Cubs to 6.5 games. Chicago opens up a 3-gamer with the LA Dodgers tonight. The Dodgers, of course, winners of the Tarik Skubal sweepstakes after their trade with the Tigers on Saturday night. The Cubs do get a deadline arm as well. Right-hander Kevin Gausman heads to the Northsiders from Toronto for a pair of prospects. And the New York Mets trade former Brewers ace Freddie Peralta to the Tampa Bay Rays for a pair of prospects. The trading deadline is tonight at 5. Hour 2 of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on 1. Ready, Biller for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 hit. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red right 18 Bob on 1. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here, and to try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we got to do. Let's go out and kick the tail. All right? 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Get our guys after and make the play. Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C-puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armin Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Monday edition of the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app, streaming live on Facebook, X, and YouTube. Drew Olson joined by Hunter Baumgart, who is in for Armin Sarian. Armin will be back tomorrow. And we are happy to welcome our pal Bill Schmid to the party today.
Morning, boys.
On his way up to Green Bay for the first full padded practice of training camp.
And finally, now we can start getting all those beautiful questions answered, Drew, that everybody's been asking of those training camp battles. The pads keep popping, and I'm not talking about those little hand shields that they have to act like our pads for the first couple of days.
Yeah.
That's the worst gig ever. When you're one of the linemen, you got to hold one of the pads. Oh, I would have totally gotten him there if I would have been able to use my hand. A great safety blanket, but now all those excuses go out the window for the next couple of days.
That's right. That's right. Obviously, the top story today, trade deadline. We are now, 11 hours away from the trade deadline in Major League Baseball. Brewers haven't made a significant move yet.
No, and I don't know exactly how you guys have taken it over the last couple of hours, but man, are they the league's punching bag over the last 36 hours after that deal went down on or near midnight on Saturday night? Like, it just feels like and I totally understand it. Everybody, I think myself included, expected them to be one of the teams, and I think they were one of the teams that tried to acquire him. But they have now become, it feels like, the poster child for, well, these cheap owners just don't care about competitiveness. When, listen, cool, if you want a 28-year-old that's got, two arm surgeries, more than a multitude of different prospects, or to have what seems like at all a conversation about it. I mean, I don't know if Nico Harrison was the GM of the Dallas Mavericks, and he was the one that first instituted, I'm just going to trade these guys and just not talk about it. I'm gonna not let anybody know I'm trading one of the best players in the league. And it sounds like Scott Harris just took offers, and it said, "Cool, I'm taking that one." Like, right. It doesn't sound like there was a whole lot of negotiation, a whole lot of back and forth, Drew. And I don't know. Maybe the Brewers would have been short in whatever offer they did. Maybe they did go weak on the compensation package, but everything that I'm seeing is they offered the best prospect. They offered the highest rated guy, and doesn't seem like there was a whole lot of conversation. So it stinks they didn't get him. But now it's going to be even a better story when you just win the whole bleeping
win
thing.
the whole damn thing. Can the Brewers? Yeah, and it's like, well, again, Brewers. I'm looking at it like, okay, the Dodgers in October. They face the Dodgers next week in LA, but Dodgers in October. Well, you might not have to face them. Like, if the Diamondbacks or Cubs beat them, you don't have to face them. And like the Brewers have to worry about everybody. They have to worry about the next 2 months.
Yeah.
First of all, like the next 2 months are like, October's what you're building towards, but you got to get through the next 2 months. And then to me, it's like, as we look at it, yes, a trade will lift everybody's, but it's going to feel like a consolation prize now, whatever they do. Like,
that's fair.
Maybe not Hunter's. If they get Robbie Ray, you'll be thrilled because it's like about as good as you could expect them. A solid lefty starter would be great, but it's like, it's not Skubal. I said, well, he still can't be the Dodgers. I said it before, Billy. If the Brewers had landed Skubal, we'd all be giddy today, but they still would be an underdog against the Dodgers.
Significant underdog.
The
right?
planets have to align, and you're hoping that Miz and Skubal would carry the day.
And yesterday, guess what? The day still wouldn't have been carried because what'd you get? 4 hits?
Yeah, exactly.
Against a 22-year-old guy who, all due respect to him and his family, I'd never heard of him before. Now, he was phenomenal yesterday.
Quite good.
He was really good yesterday. But the Brewers were absent in the batter's box. And if that happens like it did last year, it doesn't matter who you're throwing out on the mound, Drew.
And Skubal pitched, by the way, in the playoffs last year and was masterful and still lost. Like he lost
an all-timer.
1-0. Yeah, he lost a 1-0 game, I think.
I think he had 13 Ks in their game one against the Guardians. And this is the other part of it as definite cope, right? Like I admit that this is where this comes from. But to believe that he was going to come in and be the second coming of CC Sabathia, I think is one, unfair to just how good and willing to throw himself on the line that CC was. He wasn't taking the ball every 3 days.
Yeah.
He wasn't throwing 115, 118 pitches in the playoffs, right? Like, I mean, they're already talking. Buster Olney has a really good one out yesterday in his podcast. It's like, they're going to ask him to make like 5 starts. And in all reality, the Dodgers' best play here was to keep him away from the Brewers.
Yep.
To the point where they don't necessarily need him to start a ton.
No,
he wasn't going to stretch himself out to a dangerous point. The guy just had elbow surgery 3 months ago.
Right.
So I don't believe the highest of high end was as good as we remember it with CC and the willingness and the gamesmanship. But again, that's a good cope. I'm playing myself into it wouldn't have been as great as it could have been.
So
that's why I'm okay that they didn't give up Andrew Fisher and reportedly Logan Henderson, who I definitely didn't want them to be part of.
To the point of the Dodgers keeping him away from the Brewers, Alden Gonzalez, I should say, who covers the Dodgers for ESPN. He said, and it might have been with Buster on his podcast on Friday, and I kind of talked about this for a while on my show on Friday. He said basically that, like, I think the Dodgers would have preferred that just Skubal would have not been traded. Like, they would have preferred that, that he would have been, the Tigers would have said, we're close enough and we're not going to trade him. We're going to keep him and try to make a run. And they would have preferred that. So then he wouldn't have gone to a competitor of theirs. To me, that's such like that just makes it even worse when you think
about
about
big spitting in your face.
When you
100%.
think about that the Dodgers were sitting there late last week and went, well, all right, guys, I guess we got to put together a package for Skubal. Guess we got to go get him now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the difference. It's just a different world that they are living in. And you can argue all the different World Series champions and parity and different things. And there's so many conversations that can be had there. But there's simply a different world that the Dodgers are living in right now than the Brewers are. And it is so apparent. And it was over the weekend once again.
And I don't know where I'll fully fall in on it because whenever the negotiations roll through, but that's where everybody goes. They fast forward to this winter. And the owners are doing a hell of a job, Drew. I mean, if we're watching Brewers TV, every single commercial break, we get one of those super special ads about how much more we care about you, the fans. We love you. They don't. How many teams don't even care? How many teams are instantly losing in all of these different ads that they're throwing out? And this is another great way in a rallying cry that you can point to of the small markets and the cheaper owners, the less money liquid owners, right? The ones that don't own Guggenheim or Steve Cohen. But I don't fully know that a salary cap changes whatever competitive balance that we believe there is. The owners don't care about the competitive balance of it.
They care about the money.
They care that their franchise valuations are less than the NBA and the NFL significantly. They haven't grown significantly like all of those other ones have. And they want to expand. They want to sell their teams and be able to cash in at some particular point in time. And that's, I think, what they believe is the next code that they got to unlock to change these franchise valuations, where the Padres were, what, just $3.5 billion?
I guess so, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, now, Seahawks did just win the Super Bowl. A fingernail shy of 10. Like there's a significant difference there. And when you're looking at what NBA teams are going for, I think that's the biggest one that they point to.
Yeah, that's what the owners are about. Like, how do they get their values up? How do they, and they are convinced that the cap will help them.
Yeah. And it's also the easiest one to get all of the poor people like us to agree with the richest.
And even the Dodgers don't care about a cap because they're still the Dodgers.
Right. They're still going to be flying 2-team planes and have everybody wanting to go there.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, and like I said it earlier, there's a cap in the NBA, and the baseball has, because when part of it's because it's the most volatile random sport in the playoffs, because a 3-game series or a 5-game series, the best team doesn't always win. Even a 7-game series, the best team doesn't always win.
1,000%.
But the Sacramento Kings still exist, and there's a capped league, and no free agents go there, and they don't really sign there. They still exist.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's the thing of pointing to leagues and saying that this is the only league we follow that money isn't transparent and equal everywhere. Well, the second biggest sport in America, college football, doesn't.
Yeah.
And you could argue one of the biggest sports, if not the biggest sporting league in the world, doesn't, in like the top 3 different international soccer leagues, right? Like they have different systems that change and they revenue split. And I think baseball is doing a decent job of that. But just believing that this is a cure-all, that all of a sudden LA is not going to be some kind of mobilized weapon rolling through here with all of their talent. I just don't think that's the case. Yeah. They do baseball very, very well. They got it all planned out. They got a ton of different prospects. That being said, I don't think after he said this week and his agent put it out that he's going to LA, he wants to be in LA. I don't know that everybody pumped the brakes fully, but I think everybody's acceleration maybe just went off of the pedal just a tick.
Yeah.
Right. I do think there's an understanding of if he's going to go there anyway, I want him, no doubt. But what exactly am I getting for these next 2 to 3 months?
Yeah,
I think that's a good question to ask.
Jeff Passan basically said that other teams were resigned to the fact that he's probably going to the Dodgers. And that was late, maybe Wednesday or Thursday of last week.
It sure seemed that way. And that's where, and again, the Dodgers will still get a lot of guys. It's like, that's how it rolls.
Yeah,
right.
and I think the funniest part is here, they still have Kyle Tucker on their team, who's hitting like below major league average. He's got like a 690 OPS. They're paying him $60 million. Any other team that is crippling, and instead they'll trot him out there, and if they got a pinch hit for him in the playoffs, they will. I don't think like Dave Roberts won't care. Yeah. That's a hell of a way to be able to live. Everyone else can't live that way, even though many people online wanted to tell you every owner could be doing this. Yeah. Every team could be doing this. It's just so weird, Drew, because I sit right down the fence, and half of the things I like really on this side, and half of them I look on this side of the fence.
And again, like the Dodgers,
argument too.
The Dodgers are the emblematic, but we're using them. See the big markets, all big markets. Like the Mets suck.
Yeah, they're brutal.
The Angels suck.
Yeah, brutal.
They're big markets, high revenue teams with unlimited resources, and they suck. So the Dodgers, they're going for 3 in a row, which is unprecedented in the recent recent vintage,
right?
And they're trying to win 4 or 7. But before that, they went 34 years without winning. They're still the Dodgers.
Yeah.
They've always had the palm trees and Chavez Ravine and the cool uniforms and the celebrities and everything that attracts. But they didn't win for 34 flipping years.
And they've been this good for a long time, right? Like I was watching some 2018 clips from Brewers and Cubs. They were like on the doorstep of being this for the 2 years before 18 when you played them, right? Like, I mean, they were knocking on the door. They couldn't get through. They couldn't get home. In 19, they won 109 games, 108 games. They got beaten the LDS by the Nationals, a team that just got through the legs of Trent Grisham and by the Brewers.
Exactly. Because Freeman and Betts didn't hit. Like, baseball's more random than that. And so, yes, that stuff can happen. It's fascinating though, because the CBA thing is like clouding everybody's view of what
it's happened. Where everybody went with this one, no doubt about it. Yeah, quickly. And I understand, because it's like I said, it just keeps getting thrown in your face at every point you watch the games. And I understand when the folks that are producing the games and the ones that are coming up with it, it is your livelihood too. But when they're starting to throw out the ads each and every break, Drew, that's where I laughed and I said, we're going to be watching this for the next 2 months. They have, they got to streamline. I don't see the MLPA's advertisements going on MLB.TV very soon.
So if should the anger be directed not at the Dodgers, but at the Rockies and the Athletics and the teams that, the Reds and the Pirates, the teams that have had.
They don't have the TV contract.
I know, but they don't, but they're not spending like they don't. And the percentage of like their outlay.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Revenue versus your outlay.
That's the part. Business wise, I also don't think that it's very advantageous for a lot of these organizations to spend a crazy different number that they have. Like even the A's, now they're doing it because they got new ownership and they're trying to spice their place up before they go to Las Vegas. But they just signed Luis Severino a year and a half ago to the biggest free agent deal that they've had. Okay, sick. Congratulations. I don't know what that $60 million did for you. Like, I don't know exactly what it did for Luis Severino's numbers over the last year and a half, but it hasn't made them any bit more relevant. And I don't know that it's got a lot of more people going to Sacramento anytime he starts. That being said, if you're going to have a sport that is going to continue to flourish, I think you got to have some more groups trying to get to that next threshold. That's why I think the floor is probably more important than the cap. You just got to make it more punitive. Again, you don't need to have a hard cap. The NBA just didn't emphasize that.
Yeah.
You just got to call it the second apron and make it freaking crippling to teams to go over. It's pretty easy. You just got to understand how to frame it. And right now they're hell-bent on it, calling it a hard cap. And that's just not going to happen in 27.
Brewers just went 3-3 against two teams in major markets. The Giants have had considerably more success. They've won a couple of World Series of more recent vintage than the Angels, but they're both good examples of teams in big markets, attractive markets, unlimited resources that aren't doing well.
Yeah,
and would trade places with the Brewers.
And I also think this is the other part for it, just from the entertainment value of the sport. I don't know that baseball's ever had a hotter moment in the last 25 years because they have a hardcore supervillain. Right, like in other sports, like that is a good thing to shoot for the conversation around your sport.
And why did break up the Patriots? We got to change the game. We got to change the rules because the Patriots are going to the Super Bowl every year. That discussion never happened. Mahomes and the Chiefs were a dynasty. Like, did anybody scream about breaking them up?
No, and in that sport, instead,
how do we help Cincinnati be like Kansas City? Well, it never came up.
Well, and that's the interesting one. In that sport, it is hard capped. It is very locked and sealed. And instead, the conversation is, how does this team become that one? Yeah. And instead, here it's, well, you never can, but
because
then let's start focusing though on how can you once you get there. Like I get the rules are difficult, very difficult.
They're more
for it.
Even. I mean, it's a more even playing field.
But the money is also spread completely even, right? Like, and that's what
I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's just one thing that Major League Baseball, again, I struggle with how this is going to get placed solely squared towards the player side. MLB owners have had the last 6 years to line up their revenue and make it a lot more simplistic to be able to split and share. Instead, they fumbled the bag with ESPN because they wanted to have games on freaking Roku for $10 million a year and break that deal up. And now they got more Savannah Banana games on ESPN than your sport. Like that's the struggle that I got here, because it feels like there's a lot of owners that are also going to say, well, again, so we just can't do this. But you need to help yourself before you get to this point.
In capped leagues, though, we had the Patriots dynasty, we had the Chiefs dynasty. We had a capped league where we had the same two teams playing in the finals 4 years in a row.
4 years in a row, yeah.
If it was Dodgers Yankees 4 years in a row, people would be pissed, and baseball sucks.
But then again, on
State Cavs is like, oh, I'm here for it.
And the tough thing
is,
run
it back
on the revenue side and on the television side. They'd look and say these numbers are great. These numbers are bigger than we ever had for 4 straight Dodgers Yankees World Series like they had a couple of years ago. And then again, in both of these last 2 titles that they've won, now they ended up donkey stomping the Yankees, but they're down in game 1 there, and then Nestor Cortez decides to give up a grand slam to Freddie Freeman. The series was over. They could have lost that damn game 4 times last year. And instead, you aren't able to get home. So and the Blue Jays are spending a ton of money this year. They were an eyelash and a cleat away from winning the title a year ago. And instead they're selling their 2-time All-Star today because they're not getting home, and their best player has 6 bombs who they're paying $500 million to. So money definitely helps. I am not saying it doesn't. It is a significant leg up, but it definitely isn't a cure-all. And This is why I have now completely shifted to this is going to make it so much sweeter when the Brewers win in 6.
There you go.
So much better when the Brewers win in 6.
That is the attitude. 877-794-1973. When we come back, fire up some game balls and kicks. Going to get Billy's thoughts on the Packers. They got a new starting right tackle. Well, a new name.
Listen, it looks sweet on the jersey, so I'm in here. I'm for it. Any offensive lineman is making news.
Zach Thomas now. Zach Bako Biwile.
You got the pronunciation way better than I did yesterday.
Bako Bawele,
which I appreciate it. Listen, I love the story, and I'm excited to be able to tell more of it. Cool one to be able to have.
Absolutely. All right. Game balls and kicks are coming up. Get them ready. 877-794-1973. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Continuing the Monday edition of the Huddle, Drew Hunter, Billy Schmid on his way up to Green Bay. Training camp live, 11-1. Oh, baby. Got the, the first padded practice, full padded practice. They had shells yesterday, full padded practice today. Family night Friday. Oh, my, we're about what? A week from Thursday is the first exhibition game. It's coming. It's coming hot and heavy. Woo. It's going to be pretty wild. 877-794-1973 to the NicoletLaw.com talking text line. This portion of the program brought to you by Game Day Men's Health. I'm visiting the Brookfield Clinic coming up right after the show. You should visit the website, find out about the services that they can offer, and sign up for a free, no-obligation consult. GameDayMen'sHealth.com gets you in. All right, game balls and kicks. We need some game balls and some kicks. You know the drill.
Come on now, let's go.
Game ball for a job well done today on the program. Hunter, what do you got?
Yeah, we're going to let them cook.
We're going to let them cook.
Aaron Nagler was so happy about it, Drew, when he hung out with us for Training Camp Live on Friday. That was an hour and some change just before when they were talking about Matt LaFleur's child coming in and son coming into the media auditorium and having a conversation with them and chopping it up. And he's like, well, what did he say? He said that you were going to let Jordan Love cook this year. It's like, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So the audio bit that Nags and Cheesehead TV's been looking for probably the last 3 or 4 years, they got, and I think their social department is not going to take liberties with it at all.
Here's the full interaction there.
If you guys should run the ball more.
Yeah. Do you want us to run the ball more?
No, sir.
Okay.
You gonna let Jordan Love cook this year?
Yeah, we're going to let him cook.
Done deal. Every single Cheesehead TV watch party, Drew has just got infused with another soundbite.
That is our game ball today. Conversely, kick to the balls. Let's hear it, Hunter.
Yes, in 3, 2, and 1.
Tarik Skubal has been traded to the Dodgers.
Yeah, that is a kick to the balls.
Kick to the balls.
Yeah, that'll work.
For many.
That'll work.
Oh, I like that.
That was the Angels TV broadcast. They took
so that was that Wayne Randazzo cat that decided that he wanted to go off on the crew. How about a kick to the balls to Wayne Randazzo? You know what?
Skubal has been traded to the Dodgers.
I didn't actually listen to the full 3 minutes. Maybe I should. He went off.
Like I said, everybody was. Everybody's been having some fun, and the Brewers have been everybody's punching bag over the last 36 hours. If these teams just don't care about winning, they want to say that they care about competitiveness, but they just don't. How dare the Brewers have the best farm system in baseball and not do it? How dare they?
Yeah.
Well, how dare they want to be relevant again in 2031? And I don't know. They're not going to give up on the best prospect in all of baseball in Jesus Made.
And we don't know the full negotiations.
We don't know.
It sounds like there was a whole hell of a lot of them.
No, it doesn't.
All right. I have to award a game ball to Rick Sweet.
Oh, love that.
Yeah, we're going to let him cook.
Nashville's manager. Career win number 2,497. Wow. Yesterday, he is the second winningest minor league manager in history.
Whoa. And I mean, that obviously the wins is what we do this thing for, but the player development and the guys that he has put into the big leagues over the last 5 to 6 years.
He's 34 away from taking over the top spot with 42 games left this season.
Let's go.
Victory.
Come on, let's get it to him.
Rick Sweet.
And
how about a game ball for Scott Dolphin?
I was going to say
our party right now.
Come on now.
Back from Iceland.
Yeah, that doesn't compare with what Rick Sweet has done, but we had a good time.
Yeah, the trip was great.
It was awesome. Yeah, highly recommend going to Iceland if you want to see a lot of fjords and geysers and waterfalls and just breathtaking scenery everywhere you go.
Did you bring enough layers?
I did. I brought way too many layers. I overpacked.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, I probably by double I overpacked, but you have to have a lot of wool, to stay warm, and because the temperatures there, some days are only into the low to mid 40s for highs when you're out there hiking the fjords and all that good stuff. But yeah, plenty of layers, and it was a great trip
of a lifetime.
Really was.
That's cool.
Yeah, and we cruised, so you every day you wake up and you're in a different part of Iceland.
That's
kind of nice where they just do all the work for you.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you just show up. Sweet new place.
True.
Go to bed. Sweet new place.
That's it. Yeah. I wasn't real adventuresome because they eat some weird things over there.
What are we talking about?
Well, they eat
here,
cod, which is what we eat here. I mean, that's their number one export, and the fish.
I would say that's strange.
It was
it
was amazing. Black licorice is a big deal for them. It's in their chocolate and all kinds of stuff. Surf and turf. The first night we got there, one of the guys on our trip ordered surf and turf, which was horse and whale. which I thought was interesting. That's a big
horse and
delicacy there.
whale.
Yeah, they eat horse and whale there, apparently.
Like that just diced up, or we like
I wasn't
whale
there.
steak or what?
Nor would I have partaken in that.
Okay.
But,
All right. Okay.
Yeah, so horse and whale was on the menu wherever
Horse
they were.
and whale.
I stuck to wings that night.
Love it.
Well, I don't know what that wing could have been very different at that particular point in time.
That's hilarious.
Wow. Okay.
Hilarious.
Sure, they weren't fins.
Dolph is wearing a Brewers pullover here.
Come
The
on,
trade
wrap it.
deadline's 5:00 tonight.
Come on,
Dolph,
let's
what's
go.
your level of confidence that the Brewers can strike a deal and keep the pitchforks and torches away from the ballpark?
I've been so out of touch, Drew. I haven't really looked at it, but I would think a starting pitcher would be on the menu. If you're going to make a deal at all, you have to do that, especially after you saw, the Cubs went out and got Kevin Gausman yesterday.
Or a bat, yeah. And the Rays got Freddie.
And the Rays got Freddie. All indications were Brewers were not interested in that one. But a lot of teams were interested. It sounds like they had some rather robust negotiations, even though they ended up with 3 prospects that were a little bit lower level.
Yeah, what do you do in that situation? You just hope, you trust what this organization has done time after time again. And I know people were hot that they didn't get Skubal over the weekend, but I don't know. The damn Dodgers are going to get whatever they want at this point.
Pretty much.
Maybe that's why there's going to be a lockout, right?
Yeah.
Well, and they threw it out there as well earlier in the week when Scott Boras mentioned that that was his number one destination. Didn't say that they're going to sign him there. Didn't say he's for sure going there in the offseason. We all kind of know he's going there in the offseason, right? We're all not that naive. But as then they get swept by the Red Sox, just reemphasizes some human beings in those Dodger uniforms. And as long as we can have them play as bad as the Brewers' best players did in those 4 games a year ago, then you can end up still winning.
Yeah, anything is possible in baseball. I found it interesting yesterday. They said he was pretty wrecked, pretty broken up in the Tiger locker room, was in tears when he was saying his goodbyes in West Sacramento. I was watching some of that game yesterday. It was 109 degrees on the field at that ballpark in Sacramento because I was so hard up for sports because I was watching, what they have in Iceland. They had soccer on, and then they had some
little pickleball,
some sort of historic Viking games on TV.
Whoa.
Wow, we're talking.
Yeah, they were
pillaging,
pillaging, I guess. So I was watching the A's and the Tigers yesterday afternoon when I got home.
Oh my God!
I probably would have been yearning for some more of those Viking games. That sounds like the world's strongest man that you'd end up stumbling upon on ESPN.
Raise your hand if it took a while. It took you a while to find the Brewers on Peacock yesterday.
Oh yeah,
yes.
Well, it's good to hear Matty V.
Excursion was on the call.
Yep, it was good to hear Matty V and Rotino and Mark Gubiza.
And I did like our friend, your buddy Matty V, throwing Vinny a bone. He said, "Hey man, you got to stop underselling your career. You got to stop underselling your career." Vinny was caught off guard. He's like, yeah, I mean, I was a grinder.
Yeah.
Come on now, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that, Vinny.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Did Vinny have 5 or 6 years?
Yeah, I mean, and he was in the minors for a long time. But nobody loves baseball quite like Vinny Rotino.
Vinny loves it.
He loves
the amateur game.
every level of baseball. If there's seams on that thing, he is in on it.
He's in on it. Absolutely. It's pretty cool. So, all right, Packers camp. Billy's on his way up there. Dolph, you got to plug back in to what's happening. And Billy, what's the lead story right now at camp?
Well, today the lead story will be Pat's coming on, right? So real football actually happens. Real football actually happens. Boy, DDS got a little love yesterday. Caveat, got to see him in pads.
Yep, got to see him in pads.
Looks impressive in the early spot because that's going to be the number one. We'll finally get some good full pad one-on-ones, offense and defensive linemen going at it. That's some of the best theater you get at camp. And then the quiet part that you can't necessarily see until really grasp it until it happens on the field is the command Love and the offense have had in the receiver room. He said it yesterday with Stacey Dales. We got MG locked in over there at X, all but confirming Matthew Golden's a starting X receiver, and we're going to see exactly what he's got, and there's going to be a ton of targets thrown the way of zero coming up this year.
Dobbs had the most targets, didn't he?
Most targets on the team, and I think a lot of people just assumed that the next mantle, the next man up would be Christian Watson. I think he's got the best chance, but don't sleep on Matthew Golden on the volume of how much that he's going to see the football.
What about Tucker Kraft? Because I'm fascinated with him coming back and where the whispers of his extension, ready to be inked. Is he going to? I know he's going to be a while before he can do 11 on 11, do padded stuff, right? He's working his way back. But even the risk of injury, even cavorting out there like he is, Wouldn't you be tempted to say, "Oh, I'm not going to do that till I get the deal"? Whereas the Packers would say, "Well, we need to see a little bit more before we give you this deal." Like where is that that dance? That's going on?
I'm definitely not Tucker Kraft's business manager. I would not have let him step foot on the field, right? Like if I was his agent, I would not.
If you're that close and you're talking about an extension,
wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it. However,
we've seen non-football injuries or non-contact injuries up and down the league
always. And the thing with Kraft too is he has the chance to not only have his first big payday, but another record-setting one. He's going to be the highest-paid tight end in football, and that Trey McBride contract's already done. So, like, that's the one where I think it's kind of easy to somewhat do. I think there's a little bit of the human aspect where Kraft's like, I'm not going to let any of this stuff stop me. But every time he goes out there, and if he does play a game, Drew, without the deal done, price goes up. Plays another game, price goes up. Plays another game, price goes up.
That dance is wild.
But I think and I thought this was going to be Devontae Wyatt. You kind of want to save some kind of good celebration for the middle of camp when everything gets long and monotonous and lame. And then all of a sudden on August 13th, smack dab in the middle there, Dolph, somebody just gets a new big payday and Tucker's going to be buying dinner once that direct deposit hits the account.
Yeah, I bet. Did you get excited about this day, by the way, when you play, when first day in full pads?
The first day in full pads you got excited for. First day of practice, not so much. First day of practice, not excited for it. That was always the one that I dreaded that day because that was always as much running as you possibly could have.
Oh, yeah.
First day in pads was definitely fun.
Did you have to run hills?
We were big lap guys. Okay. We were big laps. We had the jungle runs at Whitnall High School where we run through the nature pod.
Oh, nice.
So then you had to figure out exactly where the pickup spot was so you could run to the end. And then you could just cut through a couple of yards.
You were like a guy cheating at a marathon.
Correct.
Taking an Uber to mile marker 20.
Wait a little bit. Wait 15 minutes. Pick the rest of the run up that way. Finish that one off. But I vividly remember it. My first camp when I was a freshman at Carroll University in the Big Ten of the Midwest. And Owen Reese sat me down at the breakfast table because we'd have breakfast at like 6 a.m. and then you go practice at 8. You ready today? You ready? I mean, I'm having Lucky Charms. I don't know. I'm ready. I think I'm okay. What's
ready for another bagel?
You got to freaking bring it today. Okay? Because this is serious stuff. This is when it really happened. I'm like, okay, man. Sounds good. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. And then all of a sudden somebody just in the midst. Owen, stop talking to him. You're not going to play today. I'm like, wow, that was the rudest thing you possibly could have had. And just immediate trash talking. And then the whole place started laughing like it generally did. But it got super serious there for a quick second. And they tried to act like it was a crazy deal. But it always is for many. But you got to bring that juice, even if it's going to be a little playful manner.
Yeah, so it's a big day for rookies out there trying to prove something today.
For rookies. Big day for my boy DDS. He's going to be lined up against Jordan Morgan at some point today.
He's got to start showing it early and often.
Yes, very much so. And then his exploits in the run defense can not be the only thing that Wayne and I can highlight during training.
All right. Be honest, both of you. Did you have to look up Zach Tom's new name before you tried to pronounce it on the air, or did you just go for it?
I actually heard it. I heard Schneidman do it on a video that he posted. So
not as good with the reading of the phonetics, Dolph. No. I was not good on hooked on phonics.
No,
I had to hear it to be able to relay it.
That's what I do with all my names.
The only way.
Yeah,
and luckily now Google has a phonetic way of being able to hit the pronunciations every once in a while.
Pretty good with the AI.
Not bad with it.
I even had to look up Cody Boyer. I'm like, or Cody Hoyer. Sorry, I'm like, is that higher? I would have said higher, but it's a Hoyer apparently.
Yeah, I like Bo. A lot easier.
Yeah, Bo Naylor. That one I had heard before.
A lot easier.
Baco Biwele.
Baco Biwele blocking you up.
Solid name.
Yeah, Baco Biwele.
It's gonna.
Zach Tom. He is Zach Baku Biwele.
Baco Biwele.
Yep, Biwele.
And the story that he said of being able to honor his mother and father's both heritage, having a name that he felt that as he began to grow a family was going to represent where everybody came from in his family. Really cool story. And, it's one of those that then you can always rewrite and write your own history. And my man's writing a lot of family history with the way that he plays. So put out the name and let everybody say it how you want it done.
And it's not like it's 27 letters. It'll still fit on a jersey.
Looks good on a jersey.
I was in Iceland, man. Everything there, every town is 27 letters. It's like,
for sure.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce any of them after spending 8 days there. I still don't know.
In Iceland, they must be so good at Scrabble.
No doubt.
How many words have a J in it just randomly thrown in? That's a 10-point letter every time you throw it in there.
You know, they blame the Norwegians because everything ends in a fjord, which is fjordur over there. So, you know, this letter, you already got a town that has 13 letters, and then you have to add fjordur on the end of it because of the fjords.
That's phenomenal. I love it. I love the fact of just taking a big old cruise ship in and out of all these fjords and seeing all of the water and the waterfalls rolling through.
And every town had a micro, so I had to check out the local beer scene, and it was phenomenal. Very good stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, good IPAs, good stouts over there. They're just like us. They drink the same beers.
That makes sense. They're smart people.
Smart people. What is the warm season in Iceland? Is there one?
I guess this is it. This is it. You have 21 hours of daylight, and we saw one day hit 60 while we were there. Other than that, it was mid 40s to upper 50s for highs, but it doesn't really get much colder at night. I mean, it's just kind of the same. And because of the fact that it's everybody lives coastal, it's pretty much the weather is pretty much the same year round.
Okay.
They don't get as much snow as Milwaukee does. And when you fly there, you fly right over Greenland, which looks like it's from another planet. It's 80 feet of snow and mountain. That's all you see. I found out in Iceland, they get the Gulf Stream from the Gulf of Mexico, and that's what keeps them green most of the year.
Okay.
I didn't know
That
that.
still never made sense to me when I was a kid.
That Iceland's called Greenland.
Thank you.
Green.
When your boy was trying to take runs at 5th grade geography B championships, that was always the tough one to remember.
Love it.
Iceland actually green. Greenland, not a soul on there and not a bit of vegetation around.
What we saw, it was all white. On August 1st, it was nothing but ice and snow when we flew over Greenland.
That's wild.
That's a heck of a trip.
Dolph, thank you for popping by. Good to have you back.
Good to be back.
Good to be celebrating halftime. The Monday edition. Billy's on his way up, so Billy's like entering the fourth quarter of his time with us. But you're just starting your day.
I was going to say just starting,
Driving up.
and I might have to tap in a little bit in that third hour.
I have a special guest rolling at 7:20 today. Brian Butch.
Big sexy. Come on, polar bear.
That's right.
He's doing as Butchie always does, doing the most good with the platform.
Yep.
Doing the most good with the platform. Excited to hear him coming up at
a free camp to help out folks in Menasha. And yeah, it's going to be fantastic of Butchie. He'll join us at 7:20. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew Hunter and Billy huddled up on a Monday in the good land. 877-794-1973. NicoleLaw.com talking text line. Game balls and kicks for you. Time for a little Who's Hot, Who's Not, brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling and DonovanJorgensen.com. Employee owned for 40 years. Nobody's hotter than the Boston Red Sox right now.
Oh, my goodness.
23-3. They swept the Dodgers over the weekend. Bob Nightingale called that a possible World Series preview. Who'd have thunk in April that the Red Sox would be mentioned as a World Series threat when they were awful and the fans there were squawking about Caleb Durbin?
Good for Craig Breslow.
Yeah.
I mean, is he just walking down doing the Vince McMahon strut every single day? Like, look at me now. What'd you guys say? I didn't know anything about baseball. I got you. And they haven't really had Roman Anthony playing during any of this, right? I mean, he's completely MIA. Yeah, the Red Sox hot. They sweep the Dodgers over the weekend. Also in the hot category, in a team that is not going anywhere at all, and instead they keep adding. The Chicago White Sox. They ended up winning 2 of 3 over the weekend, beating the Rays in Tampa. They had just split with the Yankees in 4 games. And don't look now, one of the other teams that's hot and maybe buying today, the now leaders of the AL West, the Houston Astros. They've won 9 of 10. They have now, I think, completely flipped the script. Pardon me, 10 of 11. Don't want to short them out of that one either. And I think they've completely flipped their conversation from, are we going to trade Josh Hader at the deadline, to what are we going to add? Because now they're all of a sudden 2.5 games up in the AL West. And Jim Crane, their owner, always wants to buy. In the not category, though, there's always a couple. And those aforementioned Texas Rangers would be a part of them, Drew. Swept over the weekend. They've lost 5 straight. And they now quickly are out on the outside looking in of a playoff spot after thinking that they were in the midst of it. And what about a team that traded Luis Garcia Jr. yesterday and potentially more to the Brewers later on today. The Washington Nationals. They have lost 6 of their last 7 games, 5 consecutive, get swept in 4 games against the division-leading Braves this weekend, Drew. And now the Nats, once exciting and promising and playoff-inspiring year, well, now they're 4.5 games out of the wild card. They're 3 games under 500. And hey, why don't you let C.J. Abrams get up out of there and get some playoff at-bats? And let's see what we could send in. Luis Pena is a great headliner of a package that would be sending C.J. Abrams and that big left-handed stick, no pause, right over here to Milwaukee.
Hey, now.
Things can change quickly.
Before you go, Billy,
Very
like
quickly.
there is a sense that whatever the Brewers do isn't going to be enough. People will be complaining about it, and it's like, oh, it's not going to help them. And George Kirby is a name, like Robbie Ray.
I really like Robbie Ray. Now, I would really like it if it was Robbie Ray and Luis Arias, right? Like I'd like to see some offense and some pitching here today. Like quantity will, in my mind, beat the quality of Skubal, right? Skubal is A1. He is as good as it can get. But I have already gotten myself completely shifted away to that guy quit on Team USA, that he is not a postseason player, and he was already resigned to the fact that he wanted to go to LA. So he might have thrown the game for you if you were in that midst. He wanted to be in that locker room. He wanted to be with the Dodgers. You weren't going to get the best out of him. So that's fine. Let him go over there and then hang a crooked number on him in inning number 4 in the start that he has against you in the playoffs. And I'll feel a lot better about it. I love Robbie Ray. I love that idea because I don't think you're going to have to pay a ton in prospect capital, just money. And I think it's for a reliever and a bat. 2 of 3, and I'll be happy, and I won't be upset. Now they get 1 of the 3, and it will feel like they kind of shortchanged themselves. Just looking again, I mentioned it. I started watching a lot of the 2018 highlight tape because my young son wanted to see the Brewers beat the Cubs again. I've already watched last year's series way too many times. They had a ton of deadline acquisitions on the 2018 team.
They did.
Not only the Joaquim Sorias that come out and save you. Curtis Granderson was brought in there.
Yeah.
Jonathan Scope, who wasn't great, was also a swing. After they go and acquire Mike Moustakas, they made like 5 or 6 deals, and you were on the doorstep of it. These dudes have earned at least a couple of moves, and I do believe that they're still going to be aggressive in trying to find somebody here today.
I think so too. Luke Weaver, you want to go back to the Mets? Well,
I don't mind Luke Weaver, and especially if I'm going to pay him the $11 million. They got 2 names up here that I would love: Robbie Ray and Dustin May. I don't know the Cardinals are trading you Dustin May.
Right, that's the thing.
I don't know that they're trading you.
You want to send a
Dustin May.
prospect to the St. Louis that you're going to have to see every year.
That might be it.
Oh,
that might be the same.
That's
But you can miss me with Clay Holmes. Give me Robbie. Give me Robbie Ray.
Jose Soriano.
Oh, I would be very excited about that. Drew, I was thinking we don't let Soriano. Soriano, you're coming on our team plane.
Plenty to be excited about.
You come over here.
Billy, have fun. Safe travels up to Green Bay. We'll be listening.
See you, boys. The pads are coming on today.
All right. We're going to soldier on. It's the Huddle.
I'm Doug Russell. We start on the diamond where it was a rough one for the local 9 in Anaheim.
He's got that cutter that can ride it on their hands. There's a drive out to right, well hit. Lotto watches it fly! The local kid with a home run he'll never forget.
That was more than enough for the Halos. They beat the Brewers 3-0. Milwaukee now heads home for a 4-gamer with the Pirates. Game 1 is tonight starting at 6:40. The biggest piece of Packers camp news over the weekend came from off the field, and Zach Tom is no longer Zach Tom. To honor his Nigerian roots, Zach Tom is now Zach Bako Biwele.
You know, I want to have a name, especially like when I started having kids and stuff, I want to have a name that I can pass down where it represents where they came from, you know, where I came from, you know. I just feel like people will see that name and have a good understanding of who I am, where I come from.
Your practice schedule this week, 10:30 open to the public workouts. Tomorrow and Tuesday, family night is Friday. The final hour of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on 1. Ready, Biller for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 hit. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red right 18 Bob on 1. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to do. Let's go out and kick the tail. All right? 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Get our guys after you and make the play. Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C-puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armin Sarian.
Zip. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Monday edition rolling forward. Show's flying by today as we get closer to the trade deadline in Major League Baseball. That's coming up 5 o'clock tonight. We are 10 hours away. I'm Drew Olson, joined by Hunter Baumgart. Billy's on his way up to Green Bay to cover practice. First padded practice of camp. He'll be with Wayne Larrabee, training camp live from 11 to 1. And watch it on YouTube, Facebook, X, same places you're watching us.
Yes.
iHeartRadio app. We're broadcasting live on 920 Milwaukee, 1070 in Madison. Armin will be back from his little weekend journey to Washington, D.C. and the wedding. That'll be tomorrow. So I don't know, Hunter, this is quite the day for you. You're starting your day out with a 5 o'clock start and then, fire it up. And then 12 hours later is the deadline.
Right. It's going to be fun. We got the pregame show 5:30 to 6:30, so it's perfect. The deadline happens at 5, and we'll have a full hour to react from 5:30 to 6:30 before the Brewers take on the Pirates. It'll be fun. We'll get to the ballpark this afternoon, see what Murph has to say, see what the tenor is inside the clubhouse on deadline day, which I think is always interesting. This will be, I don't know, maybe the third time that they've been home since I've covered the Brewers on the trade deadline day. And it's always a little, I always think it's also strange. It's kind of like us, I guess, when it's not, I'm not comparing us to Major League Baseball players, but when in the clubhouse, they have MLB Network on. So I always think it's kind of strange when they're showing highlights of the game that those guys just played in. And it's kind of like if we would listen back to a show that we do, and I know you never do, but if we were to, it's like that whole deal. But I think it's obviously very different for Major League players, and they probably get used to it. But today, I think it's always strange because the MLB, their MLB Network's reporting on the trades that are going on, and these guys could be involved in, obviously, the likelihood of a Major League player is a little less in the Brewers situation, but it's always just interesting to watch kind of the reactions and things come in. So that'll happen this afternoon, and then we'll do the show at 5:30. But I also want to absolutely, that training camp show, by the way, and Nags filled in admirably. Well done on Friday with Billy. But man, if you're a Packer fan, there's really nothing better than Wayne Larrivee and Bill Schmid or Aaron Nagler sitting up on the perch watching practice and talking about the Packers. So from 11 to 1, just simply do not miss it, okay?
I am planning to go to practice tomorrow.
There you go.
Hang out. And hopefully, maybe I'll pop on with the boys.
Mm-hmm. You should.
But it should be fun. 877-794-1973. Get us your game balls and kicks to the balls. We're holding them somewhat in reserve because we don't know what the Brewers are going to do. They still have time.
Mm-hmm.
After 5 o'clock, we can weigh in on whether they did well or not. Now, not getting Tarik Skubal and letting him go to the Dodgers, or not letting him go, seeing him go to the Dodgers, for many was like, I don't know if it was a gut punch. Is more like, one of those, like, ick.
Yeah, and just kind of like, of course that's where he went.
Yeah.
Like if you would have went to the Rays, I think it would have been easier to stomach. I think if you would have went to the Cubs, I think it was the one worse team.
The Cubs would have been worse, but then it would have made you even madder. Like, why didn't you go steal him from the Rays? Why didn't you offer a better package?
Yeah, which
or especially the Cubs.
Yeah, the Cubs, I think, would have been the ultimate sting. The Dodgers are up there. The small market argument I get with, he went to a different small market team. Why couldn't have been the Brewers? I would understand that. But it was just a gut punch when it comes to the Dodgers. But again, it's how do you follow that up, and how will the Brewers treat this trade deadline? That story is yet to be written over the next 10 hours.
That's true. Our friends at Iron Jock, Paulie Hansen, we're going to be speaking to Brian Butch in about 20 minutes. And Butchie's a big Iron Jock guy with his camps and everything. If you're looking for custom logo gear for your high school team, your youth team, your business, I know people who have used that. They put their employees in Iron Jock golf shirts with their logo on it. Paulie Hansen can make that happen. Reach out to him at ironjoc.com. Go to the website. You can find out about getting your own line of merch. We need some merch that says The Huddle or Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin, maybe.
Ooh, I like that.
How about that? That'd be nice.
Ooh. Yeah, who would be interested?
Yes.
Raise your hands.
Yes, raise your hands. So check that out at ironjoc.com. You got any game balls, Hunter, from the weekend?
I do. I have a game ball. Over the weekend, I went and saw the Euchre documentary.
Yeah, we're going to let them cook.
And what did you think?
It was awesome. That was an hour and a half or so of just bliss. I mean, that was just awesome. I mean, it was just, obviously there's a lot of emotions to it. There's, hilarious moments. There's sad moments. There's everything in between. What they did with that documentary and somehow encapsulating Bob Uecker's life into an hour and a half or so. Incredible. Just incredible job by everybody involved with that. That was
great.
So great to see.
From the 608, John said, saw the Uecker movie this weekend. Very enjoyable. Was planning for misty eyes, but found myself laughing much more.
For sure. Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the theater that we were in was packed. I don't think there was an empty seat in there. Maybe one. It was awesome. People wearing their Brewers gear, and it just, and the documentary lived up to the hype. So just, if you get a chance to see it, go and see it. I was thinking about it, and I had heard that the first cut was like 6 hours. It could have easily been a Netflix series. And I think I would have sat down for 6 hours.
Probably. But and then I was thinking about all the headaches they had to go through to get stuff cleared from The Tonight Show, MLB,
Sure.
Mr. Belvedere,
Yeah.
all the network licensing and stuff they had to do. What an undertaking. So hopefully this movie will, it'll last in the theaters, and then when they eventually sell it to a streamer, it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was you who said it, but someone brought up the fact that there was so much footage of Bob Uecker when he was playing, and just the footage that they were able to find and include in there, and just some of the stories and some of how his career went that I didn't realize. They did such a good job of present day relating it to his early days and kind of going back and forth throughout. It didn't feel like it was jumping all over the place. It felt like it flowed. And obviously, really going in depth about his last year and how tough that was, and the playoff loss to the Mets and all of that. So it is, and that is obviously probably the most powerful and emotional part of it on the sad side. But that's the thing. Really neat.
A little bit like the 82 Brewers doc, Just a Bit Outside, which is also tremendous in its own right.
Yeah.
They, it's sad. The Brewers didn't win, and Uke passed, and it's like, and then they kind of led into the next season a little bit, and the way they ended it, it's hard to land that plane because they didn't want it to be a depressing movie, because Uecker brought so much joy.
Yep.
And his life was all about fun. Everything he did.
Yep.
So I thought they did a pretty good job on balancing that, because
there's so many cool parts to it.
A lot of stuff that I hadn't seen. It was pretty cool. And Bob and Judy. Now, what did you think about the scene when he told Yelich of his condition and stuff? He's mic'd up and they were filming it from a distance. That's pretty wild.
And he's like, "You're the only one that knows."
That's something that Yelich will never forget. And to see that on film for him that's got to be weird.
Well, and that was, when they kind of the aftermath of that loss to the Mets, and Uecker's in the clubhouse, and that's a clubhouse that I don't remember a whole lot after they lost to Arizona the year before in the clubhouse. That clubhouse after that Mets loss, that's one that I think will stick with me forever. That was one that was like,
that's as punishing a loss as you can have.
And I think all of the emotions with it too. And Yelich, at the time, we didn't really know what was going on with Bob Uecker. I personally didn't, but overall, we didn't know the full story of it. And with Yelich being that emotional and us talking to him and that whole thing, and Bob Uecker going up to Devin Williams in the clubhouse and giving him a hug, and that's powerful in its own right, after what Devin had just given up and that whole deal. So it brought back all of those memories, and obviously those are not fond memories for Brewers fans, but I think it's great to see that behind the scenes and a little more into Bob Uecker's last game.
Yeah. And celebrating him. And I was telling a friend that the amazing thing to me is just watching this arc, and the way Uecker was such a natural. And by that, I don't mean he kind of made himself into a play-by-play guy and made himself into a stand-up comic. And he just was,
he just did it.
He just did it. And it's like he started doing sets at Al Hurt's Jazz Club, and when Al Hurt was playing and stuff, and he he created that persona, the whole deadpan thing, and his panel visits with Carson, legendary, like one of Carson's favorite guests of all time. And just there's a lot of that in the movie, and just the way he had self-deprecating and deadpan, like no one else did that. No one else really has done it that much. I mean, he created that out of thin air, his own persona, because it worked. I mean, just wild.
Well, and kind of as they went through his career and his life and everything, it made me think about, the things, the stories that you've told, or just the times that you were able to have with him, on the road and things like that. I mean, it's rare that you kind of got that behind the scenes look at who Uecker was, and just being able to have dinners with him. I can't imagine all the, just to be able to be kind of in that orbit, I'm sure for you was just awesome.
Yeah. And then and it's so true the way he treated everybody. I love that Lorraine from our dining room is makes a cameo. And just, I mean, we would went to dinner a couple times with Uke's favorite Chinese restaurant in Toronto was called Sai Wu, and the owners all knew him, and they'd come out, and just seeing the way that he interacted with them, wild. And then we went to this place, Sabatino's, that he liked in Baltimore. And he, again, the staff, the kitchen help would come out, and he'd say hi to everybody. It was incredible. Just the way his impact on people was something to see. So Yeah, highly recommend. While we're at it, how about a game ball for the Peacock broadcast crew?
Yeah, we're going to let them cook.
Who surprised Matty Vasgersian yesterday with a montage of his Brewers home run calls. And that was pretty good.
That was.
I think Matty was surprised by
there.
that. He's just like, oh my God,
Yeah.
He's like, how did I ever advance in this career? Like with that.
That was good.
Some of those were fantastic. Yeah. A part of some of Matty's greatest hits that made him a fan favorite in the 5-year window that he was calling Brewers games.
Right. What an era of Brewers baseball that those guys made entertaining.
So much fun. So much fun. Yeah. And having that game on Peacock yesterday it took me a second to find it. But once I did.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it was a Miz start. I know people were like, oh, we have to try to find this on a Miz day.
Yeah. Well, that is what it is. I found it eventually and I was able to dial in, and Brewers didn't do much. Some interesting plays in that game, though. Did you see Churio's catch?
Yeah. Cooper Pratt lost it in the sun, and Churio was able to recover.
That was a great flipping play.
It was.
Like, holy cow.
Yeah, that's a hard play to make when you don't really know if you're going for it. You think Pratt's got it, and then Pratt loses it at the last second. You're able to dive and make the play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something else.
That was good.
All right. So before we get Butchie on, Hunter, your thoughts about like what lies ahead? Do the Brewers surprise us? Is there somebody who's like you wouldn't think on the block that the Brewers could put a package of prospects together to pry away? Someone who you wouldn't think would be traded?
It's tough because it's hard to predict those just because you're like, well, I don't know who would be available. I do think with the Nationals, they're just an interesting one. The whole CJ Abrams thing, just because they've now lost 5 in a row, it seemed like they might be in a position. They do the Curtis Mead trade to the Red Sox. They get the pitcher back. It's like, okay, maybe they're going to be buyers here. Then they lose a few in a row. They sell Luis Garcia yesterday. How far will that sell go? Will Foster Griffin be a guy they let go of, the starting pitcher, CJ Abrams, whoever that is? There could be a surprise move. I don't know if it's a surprise big name, but maybe a surprise mid-level name that you could see go. But otherwise, we have heard over the last couple of weeks, leading into this trade deadline, last week specifically, about the Brewers being more aggressive and wanting to maybe push a little more in as far as chips go. Now, does that mean selling the farm for Tarik Skubal? Not necessarily. It didn't. The Dodgers did that. And not that they sold the farm, but they got Skubal. So will that translate to deals today before 5 o'clock? I think it will. I don't think there'd be that much smoke to the fire if they were just going to stand pat and really only do a minor trade, a literal minor league trade with the Cleveland Guardians. So I think they make a move or two today. I think one is maybe more significant than the other, and I'll be shocked if they don't. And I know people are like, oh, yeah, but we've seen this movie before, and they're the Brewers, and they don't make all these deals. And I'd be very surprised if they do not make a deal today of some significance more than just a depth move for a AAA guy.
Foster Griffin interest you, the lefty from the Nationals?
Yeah, I think so. I think Ray or Mize might be a little preferred, but I would be interested in
How about Reed Detmers?
Foster.
Could have brought him with you from Anaheim on the charter.
Or Soriano. I'm not opposed to either one of those.
Those are interesting prospects because they were just there.
Yeah, right. They could just have, a little discussion with the Angels and say, hey,
I don't imagine Matt Arnold was on the road trip. I don't know how many he goes on, but occasionally.
McGill said he was in the clubhouse. So I think he was on it.
Oh, he was, huh?
I think so.
Okay.
It sounded like from McGill's comments that
because he and Mose could have had a face-to-face about
exactly.
So maybe there's something there, and maybe again, the smart play if you're selling is to just wait until the last minute, right? Which is again the Skubal thing doesn't make a lot of sense because they didn't try to goose it.
And that's what makes it surprising that the Tigers didn't wait till today to trade him, or even last night. It just sounds like the Tigers really went, we're going to get the Dodgers offer.
Let's get it, rip the Band-Aid off and get it going.
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Late on a Saturday night. Oh my goodness. All right, we have a special guest joining us next. That's right. Brian Butch, the polar bear, is going to join us. Tell us about a camp he's doing. He's doing some good work. Here's a hint for you. When Butchie joins us, we will name him our Current Electric superhero of the day. Current Electric, call current.com. Superheroes on the side of the van, superheroes inside, the technicians that can help you. Call Current Electric. Butchie's going to join us next. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Monday edition of the Huddle rolling forward. Drew and Hunter bringing it to you. Armin will be back tomorrow. Billy's on his way to Green Bay, but a special guest on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. Let's welcome our current electric superhero of the day, our buddy, Polar Bear himself from the den, Brian Butch. Hi, Butchie.
What's going on, fellas? How are you doing?
We're fantastic. Thanks for getting up early with us.
Well, it's not early. Come on. This is the thing. Feel like I jumped on another radio show this morning in Appleton. Like, thanks for getting up early. What do you mean getting up early? This is the way the blue collar people wake up. Well, they already got an hour of work in.
Sweat equity. When you got kids, you're getting up anyway. Make you get up. You got 3 of them. Butchie, you're doing some good work. First of all, as a lifetime Fox Valley resident, you and Nags, my friends who are, Appleton guys, or the guys I thought of when we had the tornado roll through, and reached out to both of you. And I got to say, it took you a while to get back to me. I was getting worried.
Yeah, it did. I was actually down in Milwaukee for a Mac Fund event, and I was getting all the notifications, and I was like, all right, like most people do when you see, those alerts pop across your phone. Not that like, okay, I'm alert. I'll make sure I'm safe. You're not thinking one of the worst tornadoes to ever go through the state. You're not thinking that. Well, then all of a sudden I started getting texts like, are you safe? Is your wife safe? Are your kids safe? And I said, okay, this is different. So I left the golf outing, made my way back home. And what I saw was, I've never seen anything like it. I mean, our kids' preschool is gone. It's a cement building that is gone. I text the preschool teachers. I said, well, how's your houses? A couple days later, I wanted to check in with them. And then I said, well, Mother Nature's forced us into retirement. And I said, that's the thing, is that, there's so many people that have impacted others that now won't be able to because of buildings. There's a great local establishment in Menasha called Tony's Bar. Tommy, the owner, is the definition of what Menasha is. He gives back so much to the community, and it's gone. The Manderfields Bakery that everyone has seen. I went there last spring with my, every Thursday, me and my youngest would go there, get a donut, and, as we went to pick up the other 2 from their school. Like those little things that you look at and you say, wow, this isn't going to be the same ever again. And it's tough to put into words. You can see the pictures, but when you physically see it, when you drive by 441 and you see the destruction, you just don't know. You don't know how you're going to come back from it. But and this is the but. The people in the Fox Valley, the people of Wisconsin have just come together so much to be able to provide food, water, electricity, whatever is needed. And when I say electricity, generators, right? Like there's nothing down there right now. It's going to take months before Menasha has power. And I mean, they're trying. The linesmen are there. Everyone's all over. Chainsaws are continuing to go. But it just is one of those that I never thought I'd see something like this bad.
And Butchie, what are you doing to help? Because you're always willing to pitch in. We talk sweat equity.
Yeah, what we're doing is we're running a free basketball camp this Thursday. I had an idea. The tornado hit on Monday. Tuesday, I was just couldn't sleep, saying, "Hey, what can we do? How can we do this? What does this look like?" And I had a conversation with the community's first champion center in Appleton. Big facility, and they said, "Hey, we're going to give you." I'm like, "Can we get free gym rental?" I said, "If I can get 1, great. If I can get 2, great. Let's do it." They gave us both gyms, so we're running a free camp from 9 until 11 on Thursday. All proceeds are going to go to the United Way Community Relief Fund, which again, everyone's donated water, food. We thought it was best to give to the community relief funds. That way, they can get the money and the funds to the people that need, short-term housing, long-term housing. I mean, there's a lot of houses that are completely gone. So the initial wave is great, but now the needs change a little bit as we get farther and farther out. And so we thought it was going to be best there. All we're doing for the camp is we're asking for donations. That's it. If you can come, make a donation. You can sign up by going to sweatequitybasketball.com. We have 200 spots available. We have right now, as of today, 50 spots left. Within the first day, we had 100 people sign up with donations come in. We've already raised over close to $4,000 for this. event that we're doing, which is amazing, speaks volume of what the Fox Valley is built on. So that's a way of doing it. You can also send Venmo, Sweat Equity Basketball, and Venmo. And then day of, we'll take donations as well. But the biggest thing is with this too, guys, is this is different than a normal fundraiser because we're providing kids an opportunity to get back to some normal. My kids were scared when they saw this, when they saw all the destruction. We had to have a lot of conversations about what storms do and how people still were safe. And the amazing thing is nobody died during this thing, which I don't understand. I can't comprehend how that didn't happen with the destruction. We drove by their preschool and we had to, explain to them that like there's no longer going to be, that's not where, their school is anymore. And what does that look like? So as much as we have people trying to maneuver their lives and get it back together, we also have kids that are scared that, we just got to get them back to normal a little bit. And this is a way we can do it as a community. It's a way that kids can be kids. It's a way that we can also show them what community is about, what we're based on, what Wisconsinites are based on, what the Fox Valley is based on. We've got Matt Ferris, who lost his house, and Matt says, of course I'll be there. Former Badger basketball player Dave Mader's going to be there. Max Klesman's going to be there. Preston Rudiger, UW Green Bay assistant's going to be there. This is going to be 2 hours of just great basketball, great togetherness, great community. And we're going to be able to teach a lot of people what to do. We got Nina High School helping out, Fox Valley Lutheran helping out. I know I'm going on and on with a lot of different things, but there's a lot of people that's going to make this a really special day on Thursday.
You run camps for K through 4, you run them through K through 12. Like, is this an all ages camp? Are you breaking it into different groups?
Yeah, no, thanks. So we're going to go K through 8. We'll go the K through 4th graders in one gym, and we'll do the other kids in the other gym. And we've got about 100, of each. We'll break down that and make sure that there's kind of a little bit of a different teaching there. Not like our normal camps. It's a little bit different, Drew, right? Obviously, our normal camps, people pay, and we run that as a business, and we teach, and we'll do that. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of this is going to be togetherness. A lot of this is going to be, this is what this is built on. We're still going to teach. We're still going to coach a little bit, but I think the moment we're going to get everybody together. There'll probably be close to 300 people in the gym, volunteers, coaches, campers all together. And I think taking that picture and saying, hey, we're here for you any way that we can be is going to be pretty amazing and a pretty special thing. I didn't know what this was going to be. I didn't know if we're going to get 20 kids within the first 24 hours. We had 117 kids signed up with close to $4,000 in donations. So, but we got to keep going. There's the need here is, again, once you see it, you don't think it's possible. And there's a lot of people still trying to figure out what needs to happen. And thankfully, we got great funds as far as United Way Community Fund, and all proceeds will be going there. And it's something little that we can do, but I think it's also a lasting impact with our kids as far as, hey, you're born and raised in the Fox Valley. You're a Wisconsin kid. Like, this is what we do. We help each other. It's different than any other state. Like, it just is. I mean that because I've been all over. Like, we're different. Whether good or bad, we're different. You can say however you want to say it. Some people will say you Wisconsin people are nuts, and that's fine. We might be. But one thing we do is all come together and be for each other. And that's this is our little way of doing it.
Well, it's going to make an impact. And like you said, it's not just, raising money. It's a way for kids to kind of have a little bit of a distraction. Right now it's summer and school's not going on, so they don't have that necessarily that regular thing to go do right now. So it's kind of like a perfect couple of hours to go and get on a basketball court and run around, do what kids love to do, right? Is go and run around. And that's exactly what you're providing them. So I think that's a great part of it as well.
Yeah, no question. I mean, like I said, all of our kids have been impacted. If you drive on 441, you'll see warehouses gone. You'll see Lamer's Bus Depot, buses turned over. Like, you can't not see it if you've grown up in the Fox Valley, if you live in the Fox Valley. 441 is a main highway that a lot of people take. You're going to see the destruction. You're going to see the devastation. You're going to see the linemen trying to put stuff up. You're going to see cop cars still trying to direct traffic. It's still going on right now as we speak. So our kids have been affected more than what I think a lot of us can imagine right now, because we're still in cleanup mode. That's the reality of this. We're still in cleanup mode. There's still chainsaws that are going on right now to get this and get the trees taken care of. Where the tornado came through, it started near Xavier High School, went right by Fox Crossing, and then down to Menasha. All those trees are mature trees. We're talking 100-year-old trees. And when they get knocked over, they don't just fall on nothing. They fall on houses. They fall on it. So on top of the tornadoes wrecking the houses, we also had trees that did a bunch of damage as well. So there is a lot of cleanup that needs to still be going on. And we're now almost a week into this thing, 7 days. And, we're just making a dent in what still needs to be done.
I heard the mayor say marathon, not a sprint with this recovery. And it's good that you're keeping it in the news and letting those of us around in the southeastern part of the state, reminding us. I'm driving to Green Bay tomorrow, and I'm going to probably take a detour just to check it out and to see for myself. Billy Schmid was just saying he couldn't believe the devastation. So Brian Butch having a camp once again for the tornado relief. It is Thursday from 9 to 11 at Champion Center. Nice of them to step up and give you a couple of courts to use. SweatEquityBasketball.com, Butchie, and that's also the Venmo account, Sweat Equity Basketball.
Yep, that's the Venmo account. That's the account to go sign up. We've got about 50 spots left. We do have to cap it just because we don't want straight chaos all the time. Only some of the time we can handle that, not all the time. So we're going to cap it. We got about 50 spots left, but the reason it matters, because I know, Milwaukee, Madison, I know you guys are streaming, but it doesn't matter where you're from. This ultimately, come on up, come be a part of it, make your donation, make a help, help us in what we're doing. But sweatequitybasketball.com, go there, sign up. If you want to make a donation, great. That's what we're asking for. But all proceeds are all going to the United Way Tornado Relief Fund that they have, the Community Center Fund. Any way that we can help, this is what it's about. And we're looking forward to a great day of kind of taking everybody's mind off of it, if we can. And I know we can't do that for all, but let's give this an opportunity for our kids to be kids a little bit.
I've seen a whole bunch of posts on my social, Butchie, of folks with their kids, and it's like the last AAU game of the season. It's winding down. Is the camp season winding down for you? I mean, this is the tail end of the summer.
This was my wife. I don't know. She said, she's like, hey, we got to do something too. And we talked through this. Our last camp was going to be on Wednesday. We had Thursday open. The Champion Center had Thursday open. So I said, everybody, we're extending camp season one more. Now we run camps in the fall and all that stuff as well. So there's a lot that we do. Don't get me wrong. But as far as our everyday camps that we do, we're getting to the end of it. But we decided we needed to add this one for sure.
What are you seeing with the camps? Because you're at the ground floor of it. We were talking earlier about how Vinny Rotino is the local baseball guy. Well, you're the local hoops guy, and you're dealing with kids like, elementary school kids up to high school kids. And then once they get into the AAU programs, that consumes a lot. Like, I don't know that those people have time for camps or not, but
well, they should. I'll tell you this, they should. There's a lot of bad AAU teams out there. When I say that, I don't mean that in a bad way. I just think that we focus so much on we want to play, and we don't want to develop our skills enough. And then all of a sudden we, get frustrated because we're not playing that we want to play on the high school level. But mom and dad say, well, we played AAU. You did. And there's a place for that. But I still think the development of it, and I always say it this way to parents. I said, Kobe Bryant would always add something in the summer. But in high school, in AAU season, we don't want to add anything. We just want to play. So how much are we getting better? Now, that's an NBA player. We got high school players. But I would challenge kids to always try to add layers to your game throughout the summer. And what AAU does at times is take away. And I think ultimately for me, we need to focus on getting kids better. Now, there's some guys that continue to do that and girls that continue to do that because the level of high school, basketball in the state is fantastic. We got a lot of great players. But my challenge would be, hey, those kids that are, that fourth best player on your high school team, try to get to, be that third, add that next layer to your game. So when you come back, you're like, hey, I've improved in this area versus I played 30 games and we were 19-2, or 20 games, we were 21 and we were 19-2, and look at what we did. Well, that doesn't really move the needle either, to be honest.
That's a good call. Butchie, on the way out here, the trade deadline is coming up 5:00 tonight. What are you feeling about our Brewers, man? Are you feeling confident they'll do something big?
No. I think, but I didn't feel confident. No, did I think they should have? Sure. I think, you go ahead. I thought they were going to be more aggressive with what is possible next season, being no baseball. I thought maybe that's a situation where you say, let's try to make the push now. They didn't. I think there'll be a little something small. We've already seen kind of one small deal go down. We'll maybe see probably one more small one. But this team is still pretty good too. And that's the reality of where we're at. Like, as much as everybody wants to go get Skubal and everybody else, like, that's probably not what the Brewers operate in. We know that's not what, the Dodgers go ahead. They do that. And that's the reality where you're at. But this team is still good enough. Like, that's the reality of it too. Like, they've won a lot of baseball games. So you got to trust in what they're doing.
That's interesting because, Butchie, I was struck over the weekend because it seemed like for years the national media was kind of rooting for Giannis to be moved out of town and out of Milwaukee. And it was the opposite. They wanted Skubal to land with the Brewers, and the Brewers have the prospects, and it made the most sense. And it was like, it was weird to see them kind of cheering for that. And then he goes to the Dodgers and like, well, that was inevitable.
Well, and it was, right? I didn't ever get my hopes up because we don't really have that. And then when we do get our hopes up with Micah Parsons, what does he do? Tear his ACL. So hey, it's great. But when you do that, you got, it's not like the Packers won a Super Bowl because they made the trade. They were the 7th seed yet again because they've added how many teams in the playoffs? Half the teams almost in the NFL makes the playoffs. The 7th seed is not good enough for the Packers either. Can we stop that, Packer fans? Like, your expectations should be louder, and and your voices should be louder if the Packers make the 7th seed again.
That's right. Win the damn division.
Well,
let's get back to that. That's the basic, get back to that.
I don't know where Packer fans thought it's been okay to say, hey, you know what? We're the 7th seed. Good season. Good job, crew. Good job, boys. Like, why are we at that, Packer fans? No.
Butchie laying it down. SweatEquityBasketball.com, the website. Check it out. The camp is running 9:00 early on. Well, not early for us, but early for some people on Thursday. Champion Center in Appleton. Butchie, thank you for joining us, man. Appreciate you doing this. This is very cool. Yeah. You are a legend in the Fox Valley, and it's great that you're doing this for people.
It's awesome.
Well, thanks for giving me the platform, guys. I appreciate it. I know it's one of those things, but anyway, we can do it. Lots of reason to do it, but make donations at Venmo, Sweat Equity Basketball. You can show up, make donations as well, or come be a part of the camp. We'd love to see everybody there and show, Wisconsin and Fox Valley what we do, and that's support each other and take care of each other.
We'll be reminding people from now until the camp tips off. Butchie, thanks for joining us, bud. We appreciate it.
Thanks, boys. I appreciate you.
You bet. Ryan Butch, Polar Bear, join us right here. Time to close up shop. We got our Wake and Bake story coming at you momentarily. We didn't do an injury report yet from Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Any word on the rehabbing guys, Hunter, the coming back?
On the Brewers?
Yeah.
Rehabbing guys.
Like Harrison's coming back to the rotation because he aced his test.
Harrison will be starting on Wednesday. It looks like Joel Kuhnel started a rehab assignment in AAA last night. Brandon Lockridge is back. Who else is that? DL Hall's back. So you got a lot of guys back. Sal Frelick early to mid-August was the projection. We'll probably get another update on him this week. So they're getting healthier and healthier, and hopefully that helps them as they go down the stretch.
Our injury updates presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, orthowisconsin.com, the website. Clinic opening in Johnson Creek this fall. It's going up. It's going to be fabulous, like all their facilities. World-class care right here in our backyards. Check out orthowisconsin.com. Orthopedic Associates Wisconsin. There is a difference. Back to close up shop, wrap up any loose ends, squeeze in a game ball or kick, and we'll do it in our final segment coming up. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Closing ceremonies already. Time flies when you're having a good time talking about trades and the trade deadline, which is coming up at 5 o'clock tonight. The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, Drew and Hunter at the controls here. Our final segment, time for our Wake and Bake story, brought to us by HappyPlaceHemp.com. Check these guys out. Use the code HUDDLE for 25% off and free shipping every time you order. It'll work. So check them out at HappyPlaceHemp.com. The best CBD products you'll find anywhere. Highly recommend the Drift Seltzer. But find something that works for you. If you have questions, reach out to the guys. They couldn't be nicer. Big fans of the program for a long time. Check out HappyPlaceHemp.com. Code HUDDLE, 25% off. Our Wake and Bake story today, Hunter, comes to us. Dateline, Gastonia, North Carolina.
Okay.
I don't know what the message is in this, but it just struck me that
moral of the story.
Kayla Jeffries of Gastonia had never, ever in her life bought a scratch-off lottery ticket, and she decided to do it. One caught her eye as she was buying gas last week.
Sounds promising.
And she won $100,000.
Wow.
Her first ever. Now, my question to you is, if you win $100,000 the first time, because you don't strike me, Hunter, as a guy who plays the lottery.
No.
I don't either.
No.
I don't buy scratch-offs. I don't buy numbers. I don't.
Maybe if that jackpot gets like super high and everybody's going there, then I
yeah,
do,
that's kind of the way I would. I'll chip in. Like somebody else go get the tickets. I'll throw $10 in and we'll split it.
Too.
But this woman had never bought a lottery ticket. She buys a scratch-off because it caught her eye. She's like, the cash paid, I think. Give me one of those.
Wow.
Buys one, wins $100,000. She's like looking at it. She's like, I don't think I was looking at it right. And she claimed her prize last week at the North Carolina Education Lottery headquarters. Of course, after taxes, it was $72,018.
Well,
but still, for a one scratch-off, she's going to use the money to buy a car and save for school. But the Wake and Bake portion of this to me is, if you never bought a scratch-off in your life and you pull one down and you win $100,000, are you done then? Or will you buy them more now? Will you take some of that $72,000 and buy, once a week? Do you get in the habit? Or do you say, I won, that's it?
I got to think she's tempted to try again to press her luck. But
I would think so.
Yeah, especially because
people who win big slot jackpots, they don't stop gambling generally.
Right.
And you end up giving most of it back. That's human nature.
Mm-hmm.
But I would be tempted to okay, well, that worked. I'm done.
Yeah.
Profitable.
Quit while you're ahead.
No one can do that though. That's not in our DNA.
I know.
But that's the Wake and Bake portion. Not that this woman, it's a unique story that her first ever scratch off got her $100,000.
That's well done. That's just well done.
I had a friend who won a big jackpot on a scratch off as well, and didn't stop him from going and buying more.
Try to do it again. If
But
you can do it once, maybe you can do it
I'd
twice.
be tempted, and I think it's a fascinating thought exercise.
Yeah.
Yep. Just like, okay, one and done. I can't top this. Very unlikely to top this.
Mm-hmm. It is unlikely for sure.
And
it was unlikely in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah. And some people are like multiple jackpot winners and scratch offs and stuff.
That's incredible.
I don't know, man. There's something. Some people they have this like lucky gene.
Yeah.
You walk into a place, like every time there's a raffle, they win, or they walk into a place and they're the millionth customer and they get free stuff. And
the energy around them is just lucky.
I've never had that.
I wish.
Never had it.
No.
Not a chance. No, doesn't happen to me,
Well, we can hope that that changes at some point.
Yeah, we can only hope. All right. Well, that's our Wake and Bake story. Once again, happyplacehemp.com, code HUDDLE for 25% off and free shipping. We didn't get to a lot of game balls and kicks to balls today. We can fire that up. Tomorrow we'll be doing some buying and selling. But we had a lot to talk about today. Skubal going to the Dodgers. The Brewers, we still don't know what their effort was. I don't know if we'll ever know what the, if the Brewers made an offer, if it was rejected, if it was, they never were asked.
Right.
We just don't know. We won't know for a while. We have until 5 o'clock tonight. Hunter's got the baseball pregame show.
Yeah, 5:30 to 6:30 tonight, Fox Sports 920 in Milwaukee, and our social channels as well. So I'll be reacting to any moves that the Brewers may make. And of course, we have training camp live from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on these very stations and social media channels as well. Wayne Larrabee, Bill Schmid live from Packers practice. So we've got a full day of coverage of Packers, Brewers, whatever you want, we got it.
Yep. I know. I, for one, I'm getting tired of having to refresh X and see if the Brewers have made a move.
Yeah, I got notifications on for like every big baseball insider, so that
There you
I'll
go.
be able to turn those off tomorrow.
Yeah, that's going to be a nice change. All right. Well, hopefully tomorrow we'll have plenty of news to talk about. In the meantime, have a great day. We'll see you at 5 a.m. Peace.